nothing can save ya, cause this is the season of funky behavior. I came to relax your mind, you can recline. On what? On this here rhyme. I like the style, I'm staying for a while. It helps me show cats that I'm versatile. I'll touch your dial, turn your frown to a smile. I'll make you feel like you're having a child. So relax and open up, child. I'm about to make you walk what? Pimp style or pimped out style. You don't understand the logic. See, if you don't have it all, I'll take a deposit. I got shit for you, it's alright indeed. It's like going to the garden and planting the seed. It might tickle for a second, but it won't bleed. So just relax, just hear a dope ride. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and just hear a dope ride. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Your entertainment at the same time, edutainment. In other words, you could call it bent. What I'm saying is that I'm here at your service. It's hard work, but then again, I deserve this. I'm helping people enjoy their spare time. I'm like an instructor when I'm doing my rhyme. Relax and just hear the dope track. It's really not all that, it's not like a gag. We like that when everything is relaxed and chill. You don't have to get fucked up or take pills, cause I like being myself, it feels good. Yo, it makes my meals taste good. 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 So just relax. It's your dope ride. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and hear a dope ride. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax. My mind state, now balloon, it won't inflate. Just take the buzz, this much wiser kid, fuck the shade. And take it to a lower level, and dig a ditch for a devil. Got some more kids and pass the shovel. Dig a hole, take them on a spiritual roll. Lyrics unfold, either that or unroll the scroll. Episodes keep reoccurring and stifling. People's vision get blurring, their hearts start murmuring. I'm about 5 times iller than a Sherman. Introspection is God's gift to the miracle. I freak material, lamb's milk without the cereal. When MCs say your booty, they mean venereal. Your fake material hip-hop killers, they more faking than fucking Michael Jackson and Thriller. The status of a hoe, Quanto Costa. They wanna know how much it costs, kid, I bet for keep to me just relax and just hear a dope ride. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and just hear a dope ride. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax.
Yes, y'all, back at it again. It's V Media. Oh, let me get this off the stage real quick. Yeah, I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday period. Winter holidays, that is, season's greetings and all that. Going out to everybody that celebrates, something this winter. And yeah, I had a nice relaxing time. Just with the kids and the mama bear, just kicking back, doing some family stuff, visiting the parents, with the kids and everything like that, getting some nice food and just having family time, really, to be honest with you. Also had to do that in between work, but that it is what it is. That's okay with me because I got a pretty chill job. So, yeah, I had a nice time. It couldn't have been more pleasant. And, and I hope everybody else that's out there actually had a decent time. I know it's rough times and everything. And, yeah, that can, this stuff with, for example, people worrying about the health care, that they pay taxes for, I know that's a rough thing. The inflation is not the nicest thing to have on Christmas, and even, more inflation than it was when Biden was in office, when people were really angry. I mean, the people that hate Dems, hate liberals, they were absolutely like livid about the inflation during Biden. And those people don't seem to be that livid. I mean, not online. I mean, in real life, they seem to be extremely livid. But online, some of them are hanging in there like it was the best time of their life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to wonder, like, what community do you live in? Do you live in a gated community? I mean, and that ain't even that great in some areas. This gated community shit is over. I'm just like, damn, where do these people live? Where do these people live that are having a wonderful time with Trump? I mean, I can't find them. When you go on TV, I mean, it's bad when Fox News is not capping for you anymore and only the busters on the internet are doing that. I mean, that's just embarrassing. And by the way, how long are you going to cap for a goddamn rapist? How long do you cap for a rapist? I mean, listen, racism is bad enough. Gender bias is bad enough. All this other shit is bad enough as it is. The fact that cats don't really get union jobs out there. Some people are working 3 to 4 jobs. The economy is bad enough. But when you just add a rapist to the whole thing, folks went out and voted for a goddamn rapist. And I'm just going to tell you, look, if it is, and it is 2025, December 27th, it's 3 days before 2026. And goddamn, do people really still have to be capping for Trump out here? Like, what is going on with some people? And of course, yeah, it's going to be trolls, but no. It's even that, I would just think, damn, don't we have some classier trolls out there? No, you don't. You got trolls that cap for rapists. And that is the most bizarre thing to witness. I mean, no standards at all. Just happy to vote for a rapist, happy to find out more information about the rapist, I mean, people are alleging that Donald Trump sat back and watched a young woman who was pregnant because she was sex trafficked, throw an infant newborn baby into Lake Michigan, like flat out. This is the shit people are saying about Trump. And you got some fools out there still capping for that. Like, have they I can't even say shame. It's not about do you have shame. Do you have dignity? Do you have dignity for anyone around you? Do you have dignity for your mother, your sister, your daughters? Do you have any goddamn dignity? No. A lot of these people have no goddamn dignity at all. They know goddamn well that Trump was the best friend of one of the most prolific or the most prolific sex trafficker in U.S. history. And they know damn well Trump was hanging out with them young girls having fun, according to a molesting ass dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what Jeffrey Epstein was doing. Yeah, they was hanging out all the time. And people are still looking. I mean, if you're looking for proof, then basically you really are the type of person that basically wouldn't do a goddamn thing if anyone fucking ever came near your own goddamn family. Like, what is the proof you want? Do you want your daughter saying it and you being like, where's the proof, daughter? Where's the proof? You got to bring me the proof. All you doing is coming here talking about this man. This man is a good man. And where's the proof? You got to bring me some proof, my daughter. I mean, fuck you. If anybody's thinking like that, you are fucked up in the head. Yo, what the fuck is wrong with you people? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Shame on you. I want to know if there's anybody in here capping today for goddamn Donald J. Trump. I want to know, what town do you fucking live in? Like, where do you come from? Like, what rock, what piece of shit did you just crawl out of? You know what I'm saying? To where you could be like, show me the proof. It's just allegations. Okay, well, has your daughter ever been fucking raped? Did you get proof before you got mad, before you did something about it? Or was her word good enough for you? Okay, so don't be a hypocrite out there. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people that know goddamn well that is a very hard thing to get proof in the first motherfucking place in a rape case, you know, let alone sex trafficking. Do you know how prolific sex trafficking is? You know, really in the world? Do you know how hard it is for police around the world, anywhere in the fucking world, to get proof? Do you know how hard that is? And why is that? Because they take advantage of young people, impressionable, desperate people. That's why. That is why. And let me tell you, it's not just a thing where it's like, it's not just a Jeffrey Epstein thing. It's not just a thing for the rich. It's not just a thing for the billionaire class. Yo, it's broke asses and fucking weirdos out here trying to, you know, sex traffic as a way to, you know, own their first condo, own their first fucking car. You know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn, there's people out here willing to sex traffic people just to ride around in the goddamn Benz, you know, and pretend they got some money. Like, that's how fucked up that shit is. Okay, it's so sad, you know. And just to hear some broke asses cap for billionaires who sex trafficking, goddamn, there could be nothing lower than that, because a billionaire wouldn't even want you around his ass. Have you ever even been around a billionaire? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know, to be capping for a billionaire sex trafficker, man, goddamn, that's pretty low. That's pretty low, because he would not cap for a broke ass. A billionaire sex trafficker would not cap for a broke ass sex trafficker any day of the fucking week. You know? He don't want to have nothing to do with you broke asses. Okay. You know, and that's just the reality of it. But yet, we're the fucking trolls. But yet, we're there. I'm waiting for them. There was one troll that came in. Somehow their comment got blocked. You know, I'm waiting for them. Where the hell they at? Where y'all at? Where's the cap at today? Where the hell is the cap? You know, you got 3 days before your mama and your sister and your daughter's got there, and your son's health care goes up. And your Republican Congress under Donald J. Trump ain't giving a fuck about you. How does it feel? How does it feel? What is your income looking like? You know, who can afford to pay and look, taxes, healthcare, that's $1 trillion. They collect $1 trillion goddamn dollars, $1 trillion goddamn dollars from the American taxpayer, and cut your motherfucking healthcare. What kind of fucking bullshit? And half of the $1 trillion, look, more than half, 70% of the goddamn $1 trillion is damn near administration fees. I mean, you should smack yourself if you're paying taxes and you happy about prices going up on healthcare. You should smack yourself, because that's how fucking dumb you are. Like, straight up, that's how fucking dumb. Nothing to brag about. Nothing to fucking brag about. Where are the trolls? Nothing to brag about. I mean, you guys gonna get smacked up today. The fucking trolls, I mean, you all are embarrassing, disgusting. Anyway. Sorry, I just had to get that out there. But I've been thinking this shit for a couple of days over the holiday. You know what I'm saying? I've been thinking about this shit, and it's don't think I haven't been thinking about it. But I had to chill out, because you have to spend this time of year when you get the opportunity. My kids are off from school. You know what I'm saying? My kids are off from school. I got to spend some time with them. But I was thinking, about how fucked up these trolls are out here. And it's even worse when you're not a troll. I mean, at least a troll can be like, ha, I didn't believe it, but your dumbass did. I mean, the troll has one up on the person that actually does still cap for Trump. For real. Can you imagine that shit? Can you imagine that shit? A troll, at least a troll has a goddamn excuse. At least a troll has a goddamn excuse, a job. People out here capping for Trump, you done lost your goddamn mind. I mean, there is nothing. You deserve a foot up your ass. You deserve, really, you deserve the worst. I'm just saying it. Like, now, I'm not saying somebody should go out there and do it, but I'm just saying if you kick yourself in the ass, I'm cool with that because you are kicking yourself in the ass pretty damn good, better than anybody could ever do it to you. These Trump supporters are kicking themselves in the ass way better than any Democrat have to do. A motherfucking liberal, all you got to do is sit back and look at these motherfuckers suffer from their own goddamn vote. That's all you got to do. The work ain't hard. The work isn't that fucking hard. They did it to themselves. They did it to themselves. Oh, yes, they fucking did. You don't have to do anything but laugh. You know what they say? Just get out the way and let them run off the motherfucking cliff. And that is what they did. And they don't even have the decency to say, you were right. That's crazy. It's not inside. It's, there's a problem. There's a real problem when you have a type of personality where you just can't fucking admit you're wrong about shit that is consequential to your life. That's a fucking problem, yo. That's not normal. That's a goddamn problem. That is a real, how can I say this, personality defect when you can't just admit you're wrong. And look, you got the perfect opportunity to, because there is no clearer example of how wrong could be than goddamn Donald J. Trump. And people are still capping. They still going to go out there and cap. That's a personality flaw. Like straight up, you have to be able to get along with people, to be successful with people in anything, relationship, business, be successful with your kids, be successful with your friends, be successful with strangers on the street. You have to be able to admit when you're wrong. You have to be able to admit when you're wrong. You actually do. That's not cool. That's not cool actually being way fucking wrong, capping for a fucking rapist, asking for proof when would you ask your own daughter, where's the proof somebody raped your daughter? Stop. Hey, don't say that. That's a good man. Why you saying that? Just because he got a different political situation, you don't have to lie, daughter. Where's the proof? Where's the proof the man raped you? Is that what you're going to say to your daughter? Is that what somebody going to say? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You done goofed. You see what I mean? Like, these people got the nerve to think they're going to get away with that, sitting out here talking about, where's the proof? Is that what you're going to tell your daughter when she come home one day? Like that? Anybody, your sister, anybody? Is that what your daddy told your sister? Where's the proof? Don't be talking about Donald J. Trump. You're going to have to come with proof that he did something to you. Yo, what the fuck? What the fuck? That's crazy. That is crazy. But here we are in crazy days. I mean, hey, people want proof. Goddamn. Okay. You want proof. You still ain't seen no proof, huh? You ain't seen enough. How much do you have? And I can imagine a person that's like this. It's first is going to be their daughter that says somebody did something to them and they're not going to believe them, their own daughter. Then the friend of the daughter is going to say, nah, something did happen. I'm telling you, something happened to me too. And you're going to be like, no. Where's your proof? Where's your goddamn proof? You ain't got no proof. And then the fourth person, 5 people in the goddamn neighborhood, all girls, young girls, going to be like, no, he did it to me too. And you still going to be like, even when it happened to your daughter's best friend, the neighbor across the street, the one down the motherfucking block, and you still going to be like, where's the proof? Where is the proof? That's exactly what these trolls are going to keep on saying. And again, I'm just saying, at least the trolls got an excuse. they don't really believe the shit they saying. But the people that really do, oh goddamn, you're fucked up. I just got to tell you, you fucked up, and I don't have a problem telling you. Yeah, you know, it is what it is. Somebody's got to tell you if you never heard it before. It just is what it is, and we just going to get right down to it. Now, I did say that there was a woman who literally said she threw her baby in Lake Michigan because Epstein or one of them dudes, Epstein or Trump, or together, forced her to do it, and Trump watched her do it. That is a serious allegation. That is fucked up. Now, do I need proof to talk about that? No. I'm a gossiping ass motherfucker. I'll talk about, I heard that shit. Yeah, yes, I did. I heard somebody say that. I read it. The FBI heard it too, and they read it, and they was talking all about it. Did you know that? Yes, they were. And the news is going to talk all about it. Yes, they will. And the voters are going to talk all about it. Why the fuck shouldn't I talk about an allegation like that? What the fuck? And I'm going to talk about you because you voted for his ass. And I'm going to talk about you because you still capping. Yeah, because I'm a gossiping ass motherfucker. And and because you're dumb enough to be paying taxes, giving your money away for free while this dude is out here cutting your goddamn taxes. If you think that is cool and something to brag about, yeah, I'm going to talk and gossip about your ass. That is dumb. You having a fucked up life. Now that I said that, to the people who didn't vote for Trump, hey, you make some goddamn sense, and we got all the goddamn proof on earth, you know. I just mentioned loads of the goddamn proof. I mean, you know, I bet you're not going to say, where's the proof about your health care? Where's the proof? Where's the proof? Where's the proof our tax money don't go to the healthcare system? Where's the proof? Oh, really? Ask me where that proof is. Ask me where that proof is. You know what I'm saying? And then go in the mirror and slap yourself. Okay? Like, but in any case, before we get to that nasty ass allegation of Trump watching a girl who had been trafficked be forced to throw her damn baby in Lake Michigan. We're going to hear all the other gossip. If that's what you want to call it. If it makes you feel better, we're going to listen to all the other gossip out there. You know what I'm saying? And if if you out there capping for Trump still, I mean, I just got to say this, you got better things to do with your life. Like, really, stop being a lame. Like, you're really looking real bad right now. And if that's what you want to carry on your, if that is what you want to carry on your jacket, by all means, carry that shit, man. But you looking like a goddamn fool. Really capping for a man who would never be seen with you at all because you're broke. Do you understand that? That is the worst goddamn thing. I mean, that's embarrassing. Capping for a rich ass billionaire pedo. I mean, goddamn. What could be lower than that? What could be lower? Capping for a person that is disgusted by you, wants nothing to do with your broke ass. And yet you capping for him. And he's a goddamn rapist. What could be lower than that? I don't know anything lower than that. Please, everybody else, if you ever been down on your luck, that is nothing compared to this. If you ever had a substance abuse and broke off of it, nothing compares to that. That fine, you did a great job. At least you still had your brain. God damn, what happened to the people? How can you have a brain like that? Like, I mean, damn. Anyway, let's see what everybody else is talking about, and then we'll get to that's more serious allegations. I mean, there's some serious allegations about Trump. But let's go.
Now released a big new batch of documents in the Jeffrey Epstein investigation, and these include new details about Epstein's one-time friendship with President Trump. Look, there is a lot to go through. We said it's like more than 10,000 pages, so we are digging through this but this is what is seen so far. In a 2020 email, an assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York wrote that Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet, quote, more times than previously has been reported, at least 8 times between 1993 and 96.
Where's the
proof? On a
proof?
flight in 1993, according to the email.
Where's the proof? Where's the proof? Nah. Where's the proof? You can't just say that about Trump. Goddamn it. Where's the proof he was on that plane 8 more times? You can't just say that. That's, what do they call that? That is defamation of character. Where's the proof?
Tory documents does not demonstrate criminal wrongdoing. A reminder. And
it doesn't demonstrate criminal wrongdoing. And if you, no doubt. But guess what? Someone is going to take that caps for Trump and take that to mean his ass is fucking innocent, when it actually, what it means is they know his ass is pretty much guilty, but just have to say it to avoid Trump harassing their network and trying to sue the network for $1 billion like he always sues anybody that says anything, you know? They know he's guilty.
Trump has not been accused of being involved in Epstein's crimes. On Monday, the president did seem dismayed that the release of any and all of these files, though, could harm the reputations of individuals. He said,
man, stop talking about somebody in the chat talking about Mossad, not massage, Mossad. Yo, man, listen, you sound like, what if somebody said it's the blacks? It's the, where are you from? I mean, come on, man. It's the hoes, Angela, Angel, Carmi. I mean, come on. You talking about Mossad? What the fuck? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What's your issue? What's your issue? Mossad raped somebody, Where's your proof? What happened to the proof? What happened to the proof? You wanted proof. Where's your proof? You talking about Trump. There's no proof to talk about Trump. Man, get the hell out of here.
Said, quote, innocently met Epstein. Now, remember,
well, next thing you know, you're going to be talking about aliens and shit just because you don't want to talk about your president ripping your ass off.
Is the man they also signed into law last month, a measure requiring the Justice Department to do just this, release the files.
Can't even release the files, can he? This dude is out here capping. Now he's saying, don't release the files. He changed it to, the man signed a damn order. It's his goddamn it's his goddamn law. He signed it. Congress put it together. His Republican Congress signed it, right? It went to his desk. He signed it. And now he's saying only put out the Democrat names. This dude is violating his own goddamn law that he signed within a week. Within 1 week. 1 goddamn week. What's that all about? Here we go, Trump.
A lot of people are very angry that pictures are being released of other people that really had nothing to do with Epstein, but they're in a picture with him because he was at a party, and you ruin the reputation of somebody.
He's worried about somebody's reputation. Whose reputation is he worried about? Angel, whose reputation is he worried about? Why is Trump worried about somebody's reputation? Tell me, whose reputation? He's worried about Mossad's reputation? Huh? Is that it? He's worried about the reputation of Mossad? Is that what's going on there? I'm asking you a question, Angel. What's up with that? Is Trump worried about Mossad? Is he worried about Mossad? You brought up Mossad, Angel. Is he worried about Mossad? Is that statement him being worried about Mossad? Is he talking about Mossad? I mean, you tell me.
Justice Department to do just this, release the files.
A lot of people are very angry that pictures are being released of other people that really had nothing to do with Epstein, but they're in a picture with him because he was at a party, and you ruin the reputation of somebody.
Is he talking about Mossad? I'm just trying to figure out what the hell does that have to do with this. Is he talking about Mossad, Angel? Angeli? Is he talking about Mossad, Angeli? See, Angeli got every other goddamn thing to say. Nothing to do with Trump's statement. Nothing at all. Zero. This is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. Okay, look, here we go. Keith, let me ask you something. If your daughter came home and said somebody raped her, would you ask her where the proof is? Is that what you would ask her? Would you ask her where's the proof before you believed her? I'm just curious. Everybody here, if you would ask your daughter where is the proof, if you told her to provide proof before you believed her, put a 1 in the chat. If you think that's the dumbest fucking thing on earth, put a 2 in the chat. Okay? Again, put a 1 in the chat if you would ask your daughter where is the proof before you believed her if she came home and said someone had raped her. I'm just curious about that. I think that's the dumbest question to ask your daughter. So I'm going to put a 2. But feel free to put a 1. There you go. You see? So you basically just got a bunch of little whiners in here and shit that don't want to engage nothing. You see what I'm saying? And that's the weird part about it. They should be goddamn ashamed of themselves for even suggesting. Angela suggested that you need proof before you gonna believe them. Why are you so worried about the file? You weren't worried about it whenever what the hell are you talking about, pony? What the hell are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? You don't know what the hell I was worried about. Where you come from? Where did you come from? I mean, what is this? You put that comment up on a million different chats across the internet? Like, that's so original. Actually, let me tell you, I wasn't worried. I was interested in knowing more. But the problem is the people that were doing the most talking about it, they weren't actually talking about it. They were talking about Democrats saying Hillary Clinton was drinking blood on Epstein Island. They weren't actually worried about any of the men. They was worried about Hillary Clinton drinking blood on Epstein Island, drinking baby blood. And so I couldn't engage those people because I was like, God damn, something is wrong with your motherfucking mind. God damn, you people. And that's exactly what QAnon was talking about. They weren't talking about none of the men. Where are the men? So tell me, where are the men at? Who the men? Who the men now? Name them. Name the men. You got Hillary Clinton. You got Bill Clinton. Now, anybody else? Who else? Obama? Was Obama on the island? Was Kamala Harris on the island? Was Biden on the island? Nope. So why should a Dem be worried about it? I mean, what the hell? What the hell is this? Your president was his best fucking friend. Your president has people saying he saw her throw the baby in goddamn Lake Michigan because she was forced to. That's what's people saying about your president. And you have no goddamn shame. And by the way, Bill Gates, who said Bill Gates is a Democrat? Is he a Democrat? I don't fucking know if he's a Democrat. I think people just assume he is, you know. I thought Bill Gates give money to both parties, you know. Most of these billionaires, they, you know, I don't know if they, that's where I think you conspiracy people, you anti-Democrat people really say too much, because a lot of these billionaires, they're not Republicans or Democrats. They're just billionaires. You see what I'm saying? They're just billionaires. They donate to both parties regularly. You see what I mean? And so I think when you go for this, trying to cast it as Democrat or, you know, trying to figure out a party thing about it, it kind of shows that, no, you don't know. Now, Bill Clinton's a Democrat. Bill Gates, yeah, I don't think he is. No, I mean, is Michael Jackson a Democrat? I mean, who did he donate to? You know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of these billionaires. You could see they go across lines, you know. And Trump, he's a Republican, but he's donated to Democrats and Republicans. You see what I'm saying? So I don't really think it applies in this sense, although that's what you learned on your QAnon, you know, website, that it was a bunch of Democrats. You heard of Pizzagate. You know, motherfucker can't make pasta anymore because of the conspiracies that just ain't even there. And if they were there, why the fuck doesn't Trump release the Pizzagate files? You know, he doesn't seem too in a hurry to prove that one correct. You see what I mean? No, because it was a bunch of bullshit made up by a bunch of internet trolls that you stupid enough to believe without any proof. Talking about, where's the proof? Yeah, people saying he raped her. Do they got any proof? Where's your proof about Pizzagate, goddammit? Where's your fucking proof about Hillary drinking blood or Epstein Island? You didn't even require any. That's how fucked up you are. And now you going to telling little girls they need to provide proof before they tell the police somebody raped them. I mean, you all are fucking disgusting. Anyway, I'm off the chat now. And also, you weirdos, fuck you. Like, seriously, got no respect for you. Let's play on.
As we speak, CNN has a team working through the documents just released. We are going to bring you the findings as they come in. CNN's Caitlin Polans is live in Washington this morning. A lot to work through, and we're just getting started. Caitlin, what do you have so far?
We're just getting started, but the headline here is quite clear. Donald Trump is all over these documents. In that first trove that the Justice Department released on Friday, there were...
goddamn, he's all over these documents. Do you disagree? Or do you need proof?
Just a few very scant mentions of Trump, including in a picture collected with a bunch of other pictures. In this one, there is already one very illuminating email that was sent during the first presidency of
That's a hell of a word, illuminating email. Yeah, that email was very illuminating, but trolls ain't interested in it, but we're going to play it anyway.
Donald Trump, while prosecutors in the Southern District of New York were working...
They talking about where's the proof and shit. Hello?
...on the case against Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell. This is after...
Where's the proof? Why did they put Ghislaine Maxwell in a puffy cushion, the least patrolled prison on earth? Why did they move her? Why did they move her to that? What is that? You got a theory about that? Or was it Mossad who did it? Look at this dude in the chat talking about, or girl, I don't know what the hell it is. Thang. This is a thing in the chat talking about, do you know anything about Mossad? Do you know anything about Mossad? God damn, you people think Mossad, that's some original shit. What do you just, you think that's so goddamn interesting? You just got stuck on Mossad. You know how many fucking countries have have goddamn intelligence agencies? Can you count them? How on earth? I mean, do you even know the name of China's intelligence agency? Do you even know the name of them? What's the name of Iran's intelligence agency? What's the name of Russia's intelligence agency? Just go ahead and throw it out there in the chat. What's the name of, let's see, Japan's intelligence agency? What's the name of let's do another one. What's the name of Germany's intelligence agency? What's the name of Ukraine's intelligence agency? What's the name of let's see here, who else? What's the name of just thinking. I mean, it's so many intelligence agency. Just talking about Mossad is goddamn boring. That's goddamn boring. You see, especially when the conversation is about rape. You know what I'm saying? And definitely Trump has raped a woman. Okay, that's not fiction. Yes, he won a civil suit for rape. He is a rapist. Okay, so I don't understand your conflict with that. You see what I mean? The man is an adjudicated rapist. That's what he is. So what's your issue? You need proof for that? You want me to find you the document and post it in the chat? You see what I'm saying? It's just real. I see why it is, because listen, if I was a goddamn rapist or working for if somebody was working, telling me, hey man, you're going to get fired if you don't start capping for me, I understand why you would want to talk about Mossad, especially if you were being accused of rape. Of course, that would make sense. Yeah, talk about Mossad. Go ahead.
And one of those prosecutors writes, I'm going to read from this letter because it is what was new to the prosecutors at the time and what is new to us now, receiving these documents now in the public sphere from the Justice Department. The prosecutor, unnamed, an assistant U.S. attorney of the Southern District of New York, wrote on January 8th of 2020, The flight records we received yesterday reflect that Donald Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet many more times than previously has been reported or that we were aware. That's the Justice Department in 2020.
Exactly, Bits. Exactly.
Including during the period we would expect to charge in a Maxwell case. On one flight in 1993, Donald Trump and Epstein are the only two passengers listed. On another, the only three passengers are Epstein, Trump, and a then 20-year-old. On two other flights, two of the passengers respectively were women who would be possible witnesses in a Maxwell case. And then the assistant U.S. attorney concludes this email by telling his or her supervisors or superiors in the Justice Department didn't want any of this to be a surprise down the road. That's a direct quote. Now, Donald Trump, he has not commented yet on this particular revelation in the Epstein files coming out overnight, and this
he's like, no comment.
Morning that we are now surfacing for you here. But Donald Trump has downplayed his relationship with Epstein in the past. And of course, this is something that is documenting his connection to Epstein traveling on that private plane in the 90s. So many years ago, Kate. But Trump even yesterday was saying that everyone was friendly with Epstein. He was all over Palm Beach. And Ghislaine Maxwell, this past year, has said in an interview with the Justice Department talking about Trump that she never saw him do anything that wasn't gentlemanly, that was any sort of impropriety at all.
There's the cap, and yeah, the cap is going to continue, but let's see some more. Come on.
iPhone 17 in a mouse.
Oops, what is that? Okay, 2 seconds. Here we go. Yeah, the trolls don't like that one. Yeah, that really happened. So, for the record, you were lied to. Trump was actually on, flying around with Epstein a lot more, according to Epstein's flight logs. Not like Epstein couldn't have been on a Trump helicopter or a Trump plane himself. You see what I mean? I mean, not like they couldn't be on other, chartered transportation. You see what I'm saying? And it's just so interesting how a lot of people don't seem to even want to ask that question. Like, what's up with Trump's flight logs? What's up with his shit? What's up with his helicopters? What's up with his activities flying around? I mean, because the man didn't only fly on Epstein's plane, and the likeliness of Epstein only flying in his, aircraft. I mean, sure, maybe that's possible. But if you just look at the man's habit, he seemed pretty comfortable at Trump's place. So if he was comfortable at Trump's place, why wouldn't he be comfortable on a Trump aircraft? Why does it have to be only his aircraft, And I just think it's going to come out pretty soon. And I mean, the mere fact that now they've known that there were allegations of death, allegations of murder against Trump. They know that. The mere fact that Pam Bondi and Kash Patel just went up there and didn't even mention any of that shit. They withheld that information from the American people. I mean, that's what they did. That is sick. Isn't that something you would want to know? Like, wouldn't you want to know that about somebody if that was made? I mean, or are you just going to vote for people that have these kind of allegations? These are real allegations. These are allegations that have been documented, and not by not just by any old average person, by authorities. These types of comments, these depositions and shit like this. I mean, lawyers and police. You see what I'm saying? Lawyers and police officers and those likes, that's enough. You see what I mean? That's enough. It's terrible, man. It's terrible.
It's made in the latest batch of the Epstein files published today. They make mention of a person in Kiefer and a suicide in that area. 2 News Oklahoma's Sansi Temujani explains the 3-page document and spoke to Kiefer police about it.
The FBI's National Threat Operations Center got a tip from a call on
Look at this. Angeli is still in the chat capping there. Okay, so answer the question. If you got all this experience, I've been exposing child sex trafficking for years. I've also been involved in helping exposing them and getting them arrested to you don't know what you're talking about. So if you know all of that and you're an expert, then tell everybody, tell all the listeners then. Tell them, if your daughter came home and said a man raped her, would you tell her where is the proof before you believed her? Yes or no? I mean, I'm just going to wait. Since you're the expert, you're such an expert, you couldn't answer that simple question? I already asked that 5 minutes ago. You didn't answer it. Okay? You trolls didn't answer it. So I'm asking you again, yes or no? Is that what you're going to do? Say, where's the evidence? You got to prove it to me first before I believe you, daughter. Is that what you're going to say if your daughter come home and tell you somebody raped her? You're going to say, where's the proof? You're going to tell her you don't believe her until you have the proof? See, look, you see Angelique just got quiet there because there's no way to say that you would ask her for the proof before you believed her. So why are you coming after other people that believe the victims? And why are you saying, where's the proof? What the fuck is your problem? What's your problem? Is that what you would want people saying to your daughter? Where's the proof? Where's the proof? She shouldn't go to the police because she ain't got no proof. She just hurting that man's life. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? You see, the trolls can't answer those questions. That's what trolls don't answer.
October 27th, 2020, from a person claiming to have known.
Yeah, you be waiting forever for these trolls to answer that question. It ain't happening.
A woman and her daughters, one of whom told him she was raped by both Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. And to preface, the following info is from a tip and has not been independently verified. The current Department of Justice has already come out announcing online that it denies many allegations made in unsealed documents this week. The man that the documents reference.
Man, who gives a fuck if it's a serious allegation? If it happened, it happened. That has nothing to do with it. Of course it's a serious allegation. Rape is a serious act. Did you know that? Not only is the allegation serious, you know what's more serious than the allegation? The act of rape. You petty motherfucker. And here, you delusional sick bastard. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. Still, you're capping for the rapist. Still you are. And if it happened to your daughter, or if it happened to your sister, or if it happened to you, and someone told you what you're telling other people, I would actually defend you too. You see what I'm saying? I mean, just because it's a no-brainer, dumbass. It's a no-brainer.
Has his ID and all potential victims.
And I'm talking about all you trolls, all right? All you dumbasses. I'm not talking about just one of you.
Names
you know?
redacted as well, making the 3 pages and their narratives a bit difficult to follow. According to the FBI documents, the man alleges his former partner told him that in 1997, a woman invited her and her 3 daughters while in New York to, quote, meet Donald Trump and some of his friends, and later gave her money. The document later takes a confusing shift, describing that a girl tells a former limousine driver for Trump that Donald J. Trump raped her along with Jeffrey Epstein, and that it happened after, quote, some girl with a funny name took me inside a fancy hotel or building. That's how it happened. One of the redacted names then told the person to go to police, and the tip alleges they eventually did, but was found dead in an apparent suicide in Kiefer, Oklahoma in January 2000. The end of the document also makes a strange allegation tying Bill and Hillary Clinton to a John Nichols who tried to, quote, set up a redacted name for the OKC bombing. The main claims, understandably.
Yo, what type of man hides? Well, Trump, let's go back. Trump started off saying this. Look at this. This is crazy. But he did start off saying this, and it's bizarre. Let's go back to Trump's statement. You know, just to remind people, you know, because people lose context very, very fast. Let me see here. You Done Goof said, it's not that what did Justice Goof say? It's not so much a question of where's the proof. Well, that's what the patrol's been asking. Where's the proof? Where's the proof? Regarding Trump, it's more of a case of victims have exonerated Trump for years, saying he wasn't involved. Well, here's the thing. His statements don't seem to match that himself. How do you exonerate a person that is really actually capping for secrecy and is worried about other men who could have been rapists? Listen to this shit. Trump is out of his goddamn mind. I mean, who does this? Who does this? Let's turn it up. Listen, here it is.
Justice Department to do just this, release the files.
A lot of people are very angry that pictures are being released of other people that really had nothing to do with Epstein, but they're in
A lot of people? Why is he talking about a lot? Why is he capping for a lot of people? Why is that his agenda? Why is that? That doesn't sound like a person who's been exonerated. That sounds like a person who's worried about people getting caught. What the fuck? What's wrong with this dude? He just signed a goddamn. How do you sign a bill that you don't understand? Did he even read the bill? On a 5th grade level, probably yes.
Release the files.
This shit.
A lot of people are very angry that pictures are being released of other people that really had nothing to do with Epstein, but they're in a picture with him because he was at a party, and you ruin the reputation of somebody.
He can't help himself. He cannot help himself. He is worried for some goddamn reason. And it's not even some reason. He's worried he's going to be found out. And it is going to happen. It's happening right now. He's worried about his reputation. And it's not even reputation, because that's some gaslighting shit right there. This motherfucker is worried about being found out that he raped little girls. He's worried about all these accusations people made about him. These are accusations about him. These are horrible fucking accusations. Listen, I mean, and it's not even the worst. This is not even the worst. This ain't even the worst of it right here. That's what's crazy. This pales compared to the worst of it. I mean, look, you would think somebody saying that the allegation of someone dying or someone being afraid to die, right, would be bad, right? You would think that would be the worst, right? No. That's not the worst. That's not the worst at all. Somebody's saying they made a girl who was trafficked at a very early age, throw her baby in Lake Michigan. Now, you got to ask yourself, what's the pathology of this person? What's the pathology of that person? If that is true, and I definitely believe it is true, but let's say for the sake of the record, because, I mean, do we have the proof? I don't have the proof, although that would be I don't need the proof to believe the victim. God damn, what the fuck? Do you believe trees fall when you ain't there? I mean, what kind of goddamn thing you want? Where's the proof? You got to show me the picture could be the picture could be fake. Here's the video. The video could be AI of the tree falling. Where's the proof? You still haven't brought me proof. You see what I mean? So people that is asking for this proof before they believe anyone, you're capping for rapist. You are capping for rapist. That's what you're doing. And you are disgusting. You are fucking disgusting. Yes, you are. And you don't know a motherfucking thing about sex trafficking, because if you did, you would know how fucking stupid your comment fucking sounds. You know? You need the proof. Where's the proof? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Wouldn't that be just so fortunate that all the women, all the kids out there sex trafficked had the proof for Angel? Just had the proof. Wouldn't that be wonderful that they just had the proof? Oh, well, but since they didn't have the proof, fuck them. Right? Isn't that right? Can't believe them. Angel can't believe them. Can't take their side. Can't do that. No. Oh, my God.
First at 6, striking revelation.
This ain't even the worst. This is not the worst. Let's read it. This is crazy what they're about to read off. It's just, this is crazy.
Allegations made in unsealed documents this week. The man that the documents reference has his ID and all potential victims' names redacted as well, making the 3 pages and their narratives a bit difficult to follow. According to the FBI documents, the man alleges his former partner told him.
Yeah, there'll be plenty more angels. The bot, the angel, the troll. No, it's troll. It could be a real person. You never know. But anyway, fuck that person, yo. This person's out here capping for a goddamn. You cannot know anything about sex trafficking and have the comment, where's the proof? You need the proof. You just really need to show me proof. Man, fuck all that. Before I believe the victim, I ain't taking the victim side. I need to see the proof. Man, that means you don't know nothing about sex trafficking. Goddamn.
That in 1997, a woman invited her.
You do know how you get away with it is by being good at hiding the proof. Don't you know that? That's how they get away with the shit. Yo, what the fuck do you think? You think these people haven't learned to try to hide the proof? That's exactly what they do. Hide the proof. There's people that witness it, though. There's people. Did Ghislaine Maxwell? What did she say? What did Ghislaine Maxwell say? She didn't even go up in her own defense and shit in her trial. She didn't even bother to take the stand to explain none of those accusations. Nope, she just bypassed it. You see what I'm saying? She didn't even defend herself. And you talking about proof. Yeah, we know. There's plenty of proof. She just ain't going to help. That's all.
Her and her 3 daughters while in New York to, quote, meet Donald Trump and some of his friends, and later gave her money. The document later takes a confusing shift.
Just like a sex trafficker, give her some money, give them, take care of their good times, let them party, let them let the 13-year-old, let the 14-year-old get them some candy and some soda pop. You know what I mean? Take them to an expensive store, get them some weed, get them high. You know what I'm saying? And, exactly, and then cut them off. If they're coming from a poor family, we'll give them some money. Let them help their mother. Let them help their daddy a little bit. And then when they don't do what we want, we just cut them off. How about we do that? Or if they do something wrong, we just threaten their life and tell them that, hey, we own the FBI. We own the district attorney, the DOJ. We own, How about that? We own the police. I mean, isn't that what they were telling them? According to the witness, according to the victims, more than one victim has corroborated that. So, I mean, it's pathetic to see that there's people willing to go out on the internet and promote that kind of behavior, like this kind of game, like somehow, there's some virtue in not believing the victim. Like that's some sort of fucking virtue. Like that's some virtuous goddamn character trait and shit. No, that's fucking disgusting. You don't believe these victims at this point? Something is fucking wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. Something is really, really wrong. You are a disgusting human being. No one should want to be around you. You are fucked up. Like you are fucked up. Seriously.
Describing that a girl tells a former limousine driver for Trump that Donald J. Trump raped her along with Jeffrey Epstein, and that it happened after, quote, some girl with a funny name took me inside a fancy hotel or building. That's how it happened. One of the redacted names then told the person to go to police, and the tip alleges they eventually did, but was found dead in an apparent suicide in Kiefer, Oklahoma in January 2000. The end of the document also makes a strange allegation tying Bill and Hillary Clinton to a...
And look at this. The caveat is they get to tie Bill and Hillary Clinton to it. And the MAGA people, like, just because it talked about Trump so badly, they like, nah, fuck that. We don't want to talk about that. That we don't want to hear. We don't care that Hillary and Bill was on there. We want Trump's name fucking removed. God damn it. We want his name removed because it's just allegations, and we can make all the allegations about Hillary and Bill all we want all day long. Nothing there, no problem there, y'all. Let's listen to this again. Somebody was said to have fucking died that reported these motherfuckers. Okay, that could be you.
Redacted as well, making the 3 pages and their narratives a bit difficult to follow. According to the FBI documents, the man alleges his former partner told him that in 1997, a woman invited her and her 3 daughters while in New York to, quote, meet Donald Trump and some of his friends, and later gave her money. The document later takes a confusing shift, describing that a girl tells a former limousine driver for Trump that Donald J. Trump raped her along with Jeffrey Epstein, and that it happened...
Who?
Trump that Donald J. Trump raped her along with Jeffrey Epstein. And
Okay. So put a 1 in the chat if you believe the victims. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't. Let's just see who. Yeah, let's see. You know, some of these people, man, it's very simple. I mean, you know, but they believe Donald Trump, but Donald Trump wouldn't have nothing to do with these motherfuckers. Let me tell you that one, you know, because they're broke. They're poor. Okay. Middle class people ain't going to cut it. And $1 million, you know, that ain't going to cut it either. You ain't shit. Okay. You don't count. You're nobody still. And, you know, but people I believe this man, Donald Trump. I believe him. Fuck it. I never met him before. He would never want to be in the room with me. It's more likely that I would be in the room with some of the people that got taken advantage of because that's what class I'm in. But fuck them. I believe Donald Trump.
His former partner told him that in 1997, a woman invited her and her 3 daughters while in New York to, quote, meet Donald Trump and some of his friends, and later gave her money. The document later takes a confusing shift, describing that a girl tells a former limousine driver for Trump that Donald J. Trump raped her along with Jeffrey Epstein, and that it happened after, quote,
So the limousine driver corroborated it.
Some girl with a funny name took me inside a fancy hotel or building. That's how it happened. One of the redacted names then told the person to go to police, and the tip alleges they eventually did, but was found dead in an apparent suicide in Kiefer, Oklahoma in January 2000. The end of the document also makes a strange allegation tying Bill and Hillary Clinton to a John Nichols, who tried to, quote, set up a redacted name for the OKC bombing.
Okay, do you believe the allegation about Bill and Hillary Clinton? If you do, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't give a fuck, put a 2 in the chat. I mean, it's just to know. You know what I'm saying? Because I just want to see who believes Trump over these victims. And then I want to ask the same person the question about Hillary. Well, do you believe the allegations about Hillary Clinton? And watch them say, yeah, hell yeah, we do. I don't know her. I never met her before, but I believe her. She was drinking baby blood on Epstein Island. You know what I'm saying? It's like, God damn.
The main claims, understandably catching local authorities by surprise.
I mean, I don't see what's so bad about the allegation with Hillary Clinton. And I believe it. There's nothing really. I mean, to me, it sounds like there's nothing there. It's not just an allegation. It sounds like it's true. I even think that they admitted they know the dude and they fired him. What the fuck? But the problem is that there's nothing about rape or drinking baby blood in the Clintons' allegation. There's nothing there. But in Trump's allegation, they talking about, man, you was raping little girls with Jeffrey Epstein. That's what they talking about in his allegation. You know, it's like.
In January 2000. The end of the document also makes a strange allegation tying Bill and Hillary Clinton to a John Nichols, who tried to, quote, set up a redacted name for the OKC bombing. The main claims, understandably catching local authorities.
Eric, what's up, Eric?
By surprise, including
Chris, what's up?
Kiefer Police Chief Johnny O'Mara, an 11-year Kiefer resident only, who says he spent all of Tuesday morning fielding questions from national media.
I looked, and there's absolutely no indication of anything related to information I was able to discern from that DOJ document. It's really confusing. The document is a lot of redactions, so. Basically, I just took the dates and saw if there was anything related, and there's nothing in our records that would indicate something like that happened inside the city limits of Kiefer.
Chief O'Mara says the date ranges mentioned in the file don't line up with the city of Kiefer death records and believes anything relevant would have been in the Creek County Sheriff's Office's jurisdiction. Creek County Sheriff Brett Bowling then told me Tuesday afternoon that his office and the district attorney's office are looking into the references made in the file and will forward any relevant information to the.
Okay, so I wonder if that is been passed along. You know, I wonder if they found anything. That's been like a day. That's been like 2 days, right? basically, something like that, 48 hours, maybe 72 hours now since that came out, that report came out. These documents, or the new Epstein files were released. Now, listen, yeah, I myself, I'm inclined to believe it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Trump's a fucking liar, and on the record is known to lie, just flat out. I mean, he lied several times. He lies all the goddamn time on TV, national TV. And so, yeah, I believe this shit. And, I don't see why I wouldn't. What is it? What do I have against people making allegations about someone who likely or possibly could have raped them? Why would that be my problem? I'm not offended by anybody making an allegation of rape towards Donald Trump. That doesn't offend my senses. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that bothers me about that at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck, man? What's going on with people? Where the trolls at? Why does this bother you so much? Like, what the fuck? I can't make sense out of it. I can't make sense out of it. I'm like, make all the rape allegations you want about Donald Trump. I don't give a shit. Thank you. I appreciate it. Tell me some more. Give me some more details. Like, what the? I mean, this shit is just ridiculous, man. How you would think that Donald Trump is like some of these people's best friend and shit, like, but no, he's not. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. He just simply doesn't fucking care. Not about what anybody in the goddamn chat thinks, man. Trump don't give a fuck what you think. You could defend him all you want. He doesn't give a fuck about you. Just keep it clear.
The Epstein file release was on President Trump's mind over Christmas. He used one of his dozens of holiday posts to wish, quote, "Merry Christmas to all, including the many sleazebags who loved."
Listen, why would you not believe he raped a little girl? Look at his Christmas fucking message. Just the weirdest goddamn What is this bullshit? What is this? What the fuck? Look at this. Let me read this shit. I'm sorry. Here we go. I have to read this, man. This is too much. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Merry Christmas to all, including the many. What did he hit? Sleaze bags? Hold on. Let me take my glasses off. I'm sorry. Including the many sleaze bags who loved Jeffrey Epstein, gave him this dude. He's the one who loved Jeffrey Epstein, man. This is ridiculous. Hold on. Merry Christmas to all the sleaze bags who loved Jeffrey Epstein, gave him bundles of money, went to his island, attended his parties, and thought he was the greatest guy on earth, only to drop him like a dog when those things got too hot. Falsely claimed they had nothing to do with him, didn't know him, said he was a disgusting person, and then blame, of course, President Donald Trump, who was actually the one who did drop Epstein long before it became fashionable. So why doesn't he just release the files? If he's vindicated, if these files vindicate him, yeah, Lake Michigan, bro. Lake Michigan, Eric, we're going to get into that, very quickly. Listen, but why doesn't he vindicate himself? I mean, obviously the files would speak for themselves, right? They would speak better than any Dem or any MAGA worshiper, right? And especially it would speak way better than any goddamn Trump dick rider, okay, nut hanger. You see what I mean? Which there are plenty, obviously, sadly enough. I don't know where they went in the chat. They just fucking disappeared. But it is embarrassing to be a Trump nut hanger. God damn, you think people aren't going to talk shit about you at this point? Nobody respects a Trump dick rider at this point. Like, this is bad. And don't get me wrong, some of you are better than others, right? And some of you might not really believe in Trump that deeply, but I mean, come on, you got to admit, like, this is a bad look. This is a bad look. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is a bad look. And this person is your president. He has consequence over your life. You see what I mean? Like, he actually is paid by your tax dollars. Every day you go to work, you give him some of your money every single day. That's what's going on. Look at these goddamn trolls. That you can't see all the troll comments in the chat because some of them are blocked automatically. You know what I'm saying? But listen, he gets people. He's not getting my check. Listen, I'm not the goddamn fool here. Trump doesn't get any of my money. You know why? Because I live in Copenhagen, Denmark as an American citizen. So my tax dollars are paid here. You see? So my tax dollars, they go to go to things that benefit me and the country. But a lot of it benefits me and people like me, everyday people. Way more than your tax dollars in the U.S. go to benefiting you. And here's the thing. You still pay taxes, and Trump has cut the very few things that did benefit you. I mean, you know, that's fucking crazy. And yet these people out here still capping about that shit. Like, they don't get the seriousness of the moment. Like, so don't get it twisted, you troll ass motherfuckers. Like, I'm not like you. You're a bitch, basically. And you being treated like a bitch, and you're happy about it. That's weird. The least you could do is grow a spine and be angry and upset about this shit. But you motherfuckers don't even have a spine. You don't even have a spine. You like, yay, Trump is fucking ripping me off. I'm a bitch. Can I give you some more of my hard-earned dollars? I deserve nothing. Here, just give it to you. What the fuck? You just give it to his ass for free, yo. I mean, that's not good. At least be angry about it. At least be angry about being a bitch, then people would back you up. But goddamn, like, these motherfuckers don't want nothing. They're like, hey, come and rob me. And guess what? You're attracting more people to rob you, actually, with that behavior. You know what I'm saying? You just like, fuck it. I mean, because that's how it works. If you gonna let anybody rob you, I said, hey, what the fuck, man? Right now, you got a delusional fucking old ass man who's goddamn likely having dementia, you know, showing signs of something, who's alleged to have raped girls and is accused and is said to be an adjudicated rapist of a grown ass woman too in civil litigation. And you're giving him your money, and he's like, guess what? You're giving me your money, and I'm taking your tax dollars, and now I'm going to also, not only are you paying my salary, but I'm going to cut your motherfucking health care, and I'm going to cut it to the tune of $1 trillion, you bitch. That's crazy. It's not funny. That's worth being angry about. People fuck shit up for less. You know, I will let you know. I'm talking about on politically. People fuck shit up for far less than $1 trillion. Goddamn. And plenty of Western countries, people ain't going for that bullshit. You see what I'm saying? Like, but in the U.S., oh, well, you got it going on.
Epstein. It comes as the Justice Department now says it has uncovered.
Yeah, happy Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa.
More than 1 million additional.
Yo, Sadiq, what's up?
Documents potentially related to the case, and that it may need a few more weeks to review and release them.
Excuse me for my language, y'all, but you know, this political thing has frustrated me. Like, I started off, anybody will tell you, I didn't used to curse like this last year. I was, but then I realized, no, this political thing, it's something that is going to require a backbone, and it's going to require that, you know, people just put the shit out there like it is, like, and I have to, you know, just let it be clearly understood that this is how I feel about the situation, and yeah, I want to make it very, very plain and easy to understand. You see what I mean? And this is enough. You know, enough is enough. Like, you can't be polite about getting jacked up. You can't be polite about that. You know, I'm just saying that, really, you know, and, you know, but outside of this one situation, I normally don't curse like this, you know, like, really. I think my kids have seen me curse more online about this situation regarding Donald Trump than they've ever seen me. You know what I mean? But yeah, it is what it is. They know I mean well, but in any case, let's keep this rolling. This is really, really sad. This is really sad, but let's go. Sorry about that anyway. Sorry for the cursing, you know.
To the public. Under the law signed by President Trump in November, all the DOJ Epstein documents were supposed to be released last Friday. Joining me now is Nick Ackerman. He was an assistant special Watergate prosecutor and a former assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. All right, so these Epstein files, they go back decades, right?
Correct.
How can something like this happen where the DOJ on Christmas Eve, mind you, suddenly says, hey, we're now become aware of more than 1 million more files potentially related to Epstein, that it's going to take us weeks now to...
Okay, 1 million more files. 1 million more files. All right, so let me ask you right now, what percentage of those files that are 1 million, what percentage of them, or I might as well say it like this, what percentage of all the Epstein files do you think deal with Donald Trump? Do you think it's 2%? Or do you think it's 5%? Do you think it's 10%? Do you think it's or do you think it's more? Let me know. I'm just curious about that, because right of now there's been a good amount of Trump's name coming up, and it's been very fucking damaging. I mean, the type of accusations that have come up with Trump are so goddamn serious. You have to understand, like, there's no way in hell you can just push those accusations aside. If those things are true, then this guy has been a part of some all-out mafia type of dangerous shit, treating people very, very poorly. Criminal. I'm talking about real criminal activity. Real criminal activity, not lighthearted activity. We talking about people that are doing the things that he's been alleged to do are involved in more crime than just that. Once you go to killing people, watching babies getting thrown off a motherfucking yacht in a lake, that's way past normal criminal shit. You're not a normal criminal anymore. You're not a petty drug dealer. No, petty drug dealers have hearts. Having a girl throw a fucking baby off of a yacht because it's yours. Or something, for some reason, who knows what the reason is, but watching a person throw their baby off of a yacht that you're on, and they're alleging that they're scared of you and that you've been doing something to them, that's a horrible, horrible, horrible fucking allegation that has never shown up anywhere near anybody. It's like Trump has the worst type of allegations. First, oh my God, it's very bad. It's very bad. And you can't just brush it off like, fuck it, man, it's probably not true, or yeah, I don't believe it. No, you got to understand something. If these things are true, this is a person who is a danger to many. You see what I'm saying? A fucking danger. A real fucking danger. I'm just saying, like, for real, you have to understand that, like, this person, if they've gotten to that level where they're watching somebody throw a baby off of a yacht, they've done other things too. Like, most definitely. Like, if that's true, and I had this suspicion, because I did have this suspicion. Like, I said this, look, anybody tell them, like, anybody will tell you, if you've been listening to me, I said this a couple of months ago, that I've been saying this for a minute. Like, it's possible that when these files are released, this is just before they release the files, that they find out something about people dying, because the type of shit that they were already up to is so serious and had been going on for so long. Though, in my mind, I don't see how somebody couldn't have died. Those are serious things to keep trying to do and think everything's going to turn out fine your way. No, eventually somebody's going to go against you when you're trafficking. You see what I'm saying? Somebody's going to expose you. And then what do you do when you one of these billionaires out there and you got your hands in everybody's, You own the DA, you own the FBI, you own the police. That's real mafia shit. That's real mafia shit. And real mafia shit goes on in the USA. Like, make no mistake about it. I don't know what the fuck part of the USA you come from, but I know the part I come from is the capital of the United States of America. And I know I'm from the East Coast, and there's mafia all over the motherfucking East Coast. Like, that's what we grew up with, motherfucking mafia. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. You don't live in the United States of America has Russian mafia, Italian mafia, Irish mafia, black mafia, goddamn South, Colombian mafia, motherfucking all kinds of mafia. All types of mafia. What are you talking? People is getting serious shit happens. Sex trafficking happens in the United States of America, and other shit, extortion happens in the United States of America. That's regular. That's regular mafia shit. Mexican mafia, exactly. Where the fuck? And when you start hearing shit that goes along with mafia shit, extortion, sex trafficking, rich people, high sedity people, once you get up on that level, why wouldn't murder be part of it? Like, if you up on that level, then that means it's more important for you to get away with your shit than even the mafia motherfuckers, the average mafia people. You know what I'm saying? 3-6, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? Like, why wouldn't they be killing? I'm just saying, that's what popped in my head, and lo and behold, now these files are out, and that's exactly what people are reading. That's what they're reading.
Send out to the public.
Total nonsense. They had to know that these files existed right from the get-go. First of all, we know that prior to May of this year,
Facts war, baby,
Pam Bondi had lots of FBI agents going through all of these files to determine whether President Trump's name was in these documents. So she knew where the
Patrice, hell is right here.
documents were. But on top of that, even more glaring is the fact that all of these documents they had to know were in the Southern District of New York that prosecuted the Maxwell and Epstein criminal cases.
Why is that?
Because when you're a prosecutor, you are obliged, you're commanded to return over to the defense exculpatory evidence under a Supreme Court decision known as Brady. And in order to do that, you have to get every file that's in the federal government.
So did y'all hear that right there? This is an important thing. Basically, they in violation of the Brady Act and have been, for a minute. Yeah, and that's an actual law. You see what I mean?
Because when you're a prosecutor, you are obliged, you're commanded to return over to the defense exculpatory evidence under a Supreme Court decision known as Brady. And in order to do that, you have to get every file that's in the federal government, whether it's in the FAA or some other agency, they have to be under your control so you can comply with your Brady obligations. And certainly Todd Blanche, who was in charge of this whole matter, was a former assistant U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York. He should have known that. So they had to know that.
Oh, Vance is just as bad. Yo, let me know. How many of you all know about this Brady, the Brady bill? Right? I take it a lot of the trolls don't even give a fuck what a Brady bill is. You know what I'm saying? But judging by how they go along with everything Trump and this administration does and shit, but that was just one of the flat out, laws that they violated, that they haven't been following. They haven't been operating as if that law even exists, and how they handle information and how they're releasing information. It's like they don't have it cataloged. You see what I mean? They don't have the shit even ready. Look at this. Listen, just one more time,
Court decision known as Brady. And in order to do that, you have to get every file that's in the federal government, whether it's in the FAA or some other agency, they have to be under your control so you can comply with your Brady obligations.
You hear that? So the way they've been talking the whole time is if I don't have it, Kash Patel has it, or we have to look into it. We don't know what's in these files. Wrong. They know what was in these files day one because people worked in the FBI that had already gone through all of these files. If they wanted to know any of this information, it was at their disposal. That's the whole point. This is like a library. You see what I mean? When you go into the library and order a book, the librarian doesn't tell you, I don't know, just go look. It's all this shit piled up in here. Just go look. Yo, they have it all cataloged. You could go in there and just type somebody's name and this shit is going to come out. Trump, rape, boom. Trump, baby, rape. Baby, Michigan, rape. You know, fuck it, anything, and all that shit is going to come up. And so you can search anything. You could type Hillary Clinton drinking blood on Epstein Island. See if it comes up. They could have done all of that. And indeed, it is cataloged that way, just like a library. Very simple. And now they acting like they don't know nothing. They can't go through it and redact the names. No, you can go through it and redact the names through every file because it's all at your disposal, all right in front of you, all cataloged. There's people that even know the catalog like the back of their hand. You see what I mean? And yet they're pretending like they're totally unprepared, have to, don't know what steps to take to get this going. They're acting like they never been to a library, basically.
And certainly Todd Blanche, who was in charge of this whole matter, was a former assistant U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York. He should have known that. So they had to know that these were there. There's no excuse for it.
All right.
Yo, do me a favor. Click the like button, y'all. I appreciate that. It helps more people get to the stream and add into the conversation. And you see, the more real people we get in the conversation is going to outweigh the trolls. So please, come on. Help me out.
I do want to ask you about the process of going through.
I appreciate y'all who did also
these documents to make the redactions, which can be a tedious thing. Is it any surprise with the number of years this case has gone on, with the number of victims in this case, that it didn't meet its deadline, that the DOJ was not able to put everything out?
Well, they should have been able to because they knew who the victims were. It's a matter of just putting a black mark over people who are victims. That was it. There's certainly nothing in there for national security. There's no other really valid reason not to turn over all this information. Yeah. This should have taken no time at all. They should have been able to do it in that month. They knew where the documents were. This is just a lame excuse.
I do want to ask you, you've gotten bipartisan criticism of how this Pam Bondi has handled this, how her office has handled the release of these files. What do you think it is doing as far as the way people feel towards the DOJ, the public trust?
Oh, I think the public trust is completely dissolved. There is no public trust in the DOJ anymore, whether it's appearing in court before judges or whether it's just what they're doing with the public and telling the public what they have or don't have. I think she's got zero credibility at this point.
And when it comes to how these were put out, you had all of this back and forth where a couple of times the DOJ...
Pam Bondi's looking real bad right now. All of them looking just horrible. They a hot mess, man. The Trump's administration is a hot mess. His cabinet is a hot mess. Goddamn Elon Musk is a hot mess. Like, there is nothing functioning with any of these people outside of you giving them your money. That's it. That's the only thing that's working right now. You give them your money, they going out there and fucking it up and taking it and gaslighting you and telling you how basically as a citizen you pay taxes, you hold up the country, but you're not deserving of anything that is a norm in the Western world. Like, straight up, you're not nothing that's a norm in the Western world. And JD Vance want to go out there and preach to Western countries, but what the fuck is normal about goddamn the way the United States of America handles its taxpayers, deals with its taxpayers? Like, it's ripping off its taxpayers. It's just ripping them off, man. Tax ain't cheap in the U.S. You've been fooled. It's actually expensive, and it's just a little under what people pay in Europe and places like that. But they don't get shit. Where's all the fucking tax money going? Like, where's it going? Who's it going to? That's crazy. It's one thing if they said, you know what, we're going to stop the tax credits, but we're also going to stop taxing you that $1 trillion. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Because that's exactly how much health care they cut in dollars. $1 trillion fucking dollars. That's what they cut. So that's what they cut from your services. $1 trillion. That's just in the health care. Just in the healthcare alone, they cut $1 trillion. Why don't they give you that tax deduction out of your taxes? Now, let me ask a question. How many of you would like the government, at the very least, to give you that tax deduction? If they're going to cut $1 trillion, then stop taxing people that money just immediately. Stop taking that part of the taxes that go, the federal dollars that go into Medicaid, go into Medicare. Just stop taxing the people that don't get access to it. And look, keep in mind, this is a situation where they're really raking in a whole lot of dollars, because look, you could be paying into Medicaid, Medicare. It's not you could be, you are. If you're a citizen, if you pay federal taxes, you are paying into Medicaid and Medicare. You might not get it yourself, but you're paying into it. And imagine a lot of people that pay into it, they don't even get a chance to use it. No. And then when they lose their job and get sick, they tell them, sorry, no can do. You got to pay this deductible, or sorry, you didn't pay. You see what I mean? Like, you didn't pay. You can't afford this deductible. You didn't pay this. Also, this little monthly fee. You didn't pay that, so you don't deserve nothing. That's what's going on in the U.S. It's like lottery winnings. It is. It's like a lottery winning for people, but for a lot of the people that pay, they don't get shit. It's like a scam. It's like a scam. And then they cut it from, then they want you to pay 3 times more. Like, yo, I'm sorry, man, but Americans, we got to stand up for each other. We got to stand up for this. This is something that should not exist in 2025. Governments are better than that. The human beings have learned much more. This ain't the goddamn Stone Ages, man. This is like, something is very, very wrong. Corruption in the healthcare industry in the U.S. That's what it is. And, it's a lot of money. It's not a little bit of money. It's a huge portion of what you pay in income tax. That's what this is about. It's not a little itty bitty part. It's a large part of what you actually pay. So this is a very serious matter. It's a very serious matter, this healthcare shit, and these motherfuckers ain't even talking about it. That should have you pissed off, and not pissed off just for no stupid ass little reason. No, pissed off because you fucking deserve better, goddamn it. Like, you goddamn deserve better. You go to work for this shit every goddamn day. You deserve better. And you have to know you deserve better. You have to know that. If you don't know that you deserve better than that, I feel sorry for you. Because nobody else in the Western world is living like that. If you volunteer yourself to live that way, that's on you. Nobody can help you.
Documents out. Then they rescinded them, saying there are some issues here that we need to do some redactions. And they put a hugely redacted where you couldn't see anything, just pages and pages that were darkened. I mean, is this a normal process for putting out information to the public?
Not at all.
No, it's not.
When you do a federal Information Act request, you get things back that are redacted. You saw the Mueller report.
Bits. Good looking out, Bits. Thank you so much. Everybody thank Bits again now for the memberships.
It's redacted.
Yo, I have a couple of streams that are private, that are only for members, that are talking about the tax system. And I'm going to do another one this week too, where I break down more aspects about the tax system in the U.S. compared to different EU governments, and to believe it or not, it's very useful information. This is something Americans need to do because goddamn, belated Christmas. Legacy media is not breaking down the tax system to American citizens. That's not even a story. They're not doing any comparison about taxes, healthcare, education, connected to taxes in Europe versus the U.S. They're not doing any comparative studies. That's wrong. That is wrong. You can't make good decisions without good information. You know, and we're not even talking about this should be a no-brainer type of scenario going on. You know what I'm saying? So listen, demand more, no matter who you support, Republican or Democrat, demand more. If you're not demanding more, you have no one to blame but yourself. You don't have a political party to blame. You have yourself to blame. Yourself. You need to treat yourself good, and then other people will follow. Okay?
But it's just little bits and pieces so that you can't understand something that might relate to personal information or be really confidential on another investigation. There's none of that here. I mean, this is stuff that goes back to, 2010 and before that they should have had ready to produce at the moment that law passed. I mean, there's no excuse for any of this.
They were given a month, and there are a lot of documents, but they also had some inference that this was coming because it was discussed over and over and over again, and then Congress finally passed the law. The president signed it. Nick?
Yeah, that's a major issue with MAGA supporters and Trump supporters. Like, they don't demand better from Trump, and that's why Trump gets away with this and gets away with it with other people too, because his own supporters, the people that voted for him, they voted for something else, and he didn't give it to them, and they don't hold him accountable. They don't hold Trump accountable. And, if you're not going to hold people accountable, then, hey, that's how people are going to walk all over you,
Mackerman, thank you for giving us some insight into how this should work and how you see it breaking down. We really do appreciate it.
Former federal prosecutor Elise Adams is joining the chat. So Elise, first let's look at this. I think it was surprising to a number of people that all of a sudden there are another million documents here that they will need to go through. Did that surprise you?
There's a lot more documents than, actually some of the things myself surprised me, and some of my thoughts have changed, or a few of them I've kind of teeter-tottered on, and not really been 100% sure, or maybe slightly changed my view from the beginning. I don't know, my thoughts on it is that if you had the same views before the Epstein files were released that you have now, like if you had the same, I'll put it to you this way, if you had the same views that you had a year ago that you have now, that just means you're a partisan person. Like, that just means your agenda is something else. Like, because my views have actually changed, and I can give you an example. I mean, or they've at least teeter-tottered a couple of things, not my overall view, but a few things though, some significant things. They're not minor things. Now, the issue with Joe Biden, I was like, why did Joe Biden leave us? If he must have known how bad this shit is. Like, why did he just step down if you know how bad this motherfucker is? And I thought, like, first of all, he did it for the right reasons, because that's how democracy works. When you lose an election, he didn't lose the election, but he stepped down to let Kamala win. And that's what you do. That's how democracy works. If you go against that, then you're not really for democracy. So he didn't have a choice. But to me, it seems like if somebody is criminal and about to take over your country, then don't you have an obligation to stop it? And that was my first view. Like, damn, man, like, this is fucked up. Like, I had a lot of respect for Joe Biden, and I still do. And that hasn't changed. But just that one thing, I thought, like, damn, this is fucked up. People have to go through all of this shit because a criminal is in the office now. And if he was a criminal and up to all of this fucked up shit and people had access to it, there's no way they should have allowed this. And Joe Biden's not the only person I have that thought about. I have that thought about the Supreme Court too. Same thought. Supreme Court knows that this is troubling, and they capped for him. They gave him, as much space to operate as any president is that. They gave him more. They favored Trump. They fucked up the law trying to cap for Trump, trying to give Trump a lane. And They fucked up a lot, you know. But then later, my issue about Biden, it changed later. My feeling about Biden on that particular topic, that one thing out of 95, 98% of everything else, that one particular thing later, I had a different thought. After, it took some time after all of this shit started coming out. More details. And I don't know how many of you have had personal access to the Epstein files and know everything about it. Put a 1 in the chat if you know everything there is to know about the Epstein files. You know all of it, and there's nothing else that's going to be new to you. Put a 1 in the chat. I'm just curious. Put a 1 in the chat if there's no new information that's going to come out at all. You just know it all about Epstein. Everything. I'm just curious about that, because some people do think they know everything. I don't. I don't approach anything like that, And so, in any case, because I'm flexible and I'm willing to take in new information, but and new information is coming out. Nobody has all the information, especially people in this chat. But people that listen to me don't have all the information, But the thing about it is that later, when I started seeing all this dirt, I was like, wait a second. I started looking at it different. Like I started looking at it like, nah, Joe Biden knows this shit gonna blow up in Trump's face. He knows democracy may be better than a lot of people. He knows how it works. You see what I mean? He knows how the law is gonna work. And you could try to break the law all you want, but it's going to backfire. It's going to backfire on you. And that's what I'm seeing right now. It is backfiring against Trump. Yeah, they came in strong. They came in hard. They came in lying. They came in capping. And they took an about face and went the exact opposite direction on the Epstein files and everything else. Whatever happened to America First? He just bombed Nigeria on Christmas and shit. See you later, America First. Trump has been a total hypocrite. He's in Venezuela trying to, it's like, what the fuck? Hypocrite ass Trump. And these MAGA people, they know he's a hypocrite, but to admit it to some liberals, that they can't do. That's too much, that hurts their pride too much. So they're not going to do that, but it's obvious. It's obvious. I mean, no liberal, like I said before, no liberal is waiting for no MAGA person. We watch it enjoying your shit crumble, and it's continuing to crumble because you voted for this motherfucker that is in charge. You capped for him, and he ain't do shit for you. The only thing he did for you is give you the facade of rounding up some immigrants on the street. He still hasn't shown you any comprehensive goddamn immigration reform. He's not even asking Congress to come up with comprehensive immigration reform. He didn't even ask them to do it. It's like, damn, okay. But he did cut your health care, and that you and your families are going to feel. A lot of red state people are really hurting behind that. You see what I'm saying? So I think liberals, we can't hurt MAGA people. It's not us trying to hurt MAGA people. No one can hurt MAGA people like they can hurt themselves. No one hurt MAGA people like Trump hurt their ass. Obama was nicer to MAGA people than goddamn Trump. Obama was nicer to MAGA than fucking Trump. And that is facts. That is facts. The black man, the dude from Hawaii, the guy with a Kenyan daddy and a white American mother, I don't know her specific ethnic background. Yeah, he was better for MAGA than goddamn Trump. And why wouldn't that be? Because Trump is just a scumbag. You know what I'm saying? Trump's a billionaire. He don't give a fuck about your broke ass. And a lot of MAGA people are goddamn broke. Like, it's just that simple, man. Elon Musk don't give a fuck about your broke ass. It's like he doesn't. They're not a working class. MAGA Mike Johnson doesn't give a fuck about your broke ass. They're not even a working people's party. The fucking Republicans. They're not even a people's party at all. They're just a billionaire class party. They don't have nothing for the average Joe, nothing for the average taxpayer. And that should mean you don't fucking elect them. That should mean you don't elect them when they have nothing for your tax-paying ass. But, I mean, people in their votes. Americans don't vote practically. Americans don't. They vote with their heart. They vote with their hate, largely. They don't vote with, how can I say this, level-headed thinking in mind. You know what I'm saying? They're not voting thinking about their health care. They're not voting thinking about their education. They're not voting thinking about their housing. They ain't voting. They voting thinking about woke. We don't like woke. They use the word woke, man. Oh my God, they use the word woke. We scared of woke. No more woke, y'all. No more woke. Fuck that shit you talking about education and healthcare, man. We don't want no woke. It's like, God damn, like, is this really what the fuck you're voting for? Like, is this really what gets into your senses and shit? Like, what the fuck? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It really is. Anyway, look, and there's proof of that. There's proof of that. But I will say this, at least some of the genuine MAGA people have the right to say, nah, this shit is fucked up. And they're panicking. The genuine MAGA people, the $2 MAGA folks, the phony ass MAGA people, they don't even have that. They're not there yet. They want to pretend still, you know?
Peter Ben?
They want to pretend.
The New York Times, thinking back on what we've just been through, calls it one relentless year.
I'll call it the Temu MAGA people. The Temu MAGA people, they can't admit jack shit. They can't even get off Trump's dick, you know?
Clearly a reference to the first year under the second term of President Trump, as well as some of the other things we've all gone through. To close it
the Temu MAGAs
out, here is what a big Trump critic had to say as a kind of holiday message.
From a fascism perspective, this has been a really great year. Tyranny is booming over here. My country's president would like to shut me up because I don't adore him.
They want to shut up comedians. That's what MAGA's worried about. Ain't that some bitch shit right there? You can't even take a goddamn comedian, man. What the fuck? That is petty. And again, got nothing to do with education. Got nothing to do with healthcare. Got nothing to do with housing. Got nothing to do with a fair wage, earning a fair wage. Got nothing to do with minimum wage. Got nothing to do with none of that shit. Elder care, nothing to do with child care, nothing to do with transportation, nothing to do with cleaner air, nothing to do with motherfucking electric grids, nothing to do with goddamn making the cities and towns flood proof. Nothing to do with nothing. Just fuck that. This guy hurt my feelings. He's a comedian. I want to stop him.
The way he likes to be.
Yeah, stop him. And they feel that's a victory. When Jimmy Kimmel got fired, these MAGA motherfuckers was like, yay, we finally got something.
Millions and millions of people stood up and said, no, this is not acceptable. He did this all to support the right to a free expression of speech. We won, the president lost, and now I'm back on the air every night.
I told you, nobody can kick their ass better than they can kick their own ass. Jimmy Kimmel they make Jimmy Kimmel now seem like an evil genius. Like, how did he know this wasn't going to work? You know, that's how dumb these motherfuckers are.
Given the most powerful politician on earth a right and richly deserved bollocking.
I got you. You done goofed. I appreciate that too. Hey man, at least your heart's not broken. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You know, come on. I mean, at least you're not going all the way to cap for Trump. At least that. I'm not saying that there aren't some aspects of both parties that can be criticized. Of course there can be. You know, and I do actually on a normal day, but this ain't no normal day. This is not a normal day. Do you want to know what the US dollar is rated at right now? Don't you know it fell soon as Trump came in on? It's been on a steady decline. A significant decline. That should bother anybody in the U.S. That should bother anyone that makes a paycheck, that has to buy goods at the store. That should bother anyone that has to, buy some shit from outside of the country. That should bother. I'm talking about trade, any type of trade. and believe me, Americans buy a whole lot of shit from outside the country because Americans don't want to pick their own vegetables. They don't want to make their own shoes. They don't want to, they don't want to be Temu. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to do that. They act like they want to, but they don't really want to do that. MAGA people don't want to do that shit, and I don't blame you. I mean, you should want to do something that, takes more a certification or some shit, be a electrical engineer, be a HVAC dude or something. God damn, at least they use computers and shit, but you want to go make motherfucking tennis shoes and shit. Okay.
A little bit of fun there, but of course the jokes and the punchlines reference the truth. Kimmel getting that last laugh over Trump for now. But it is.
Honest living is an honest living. I'm not making fun of that. But goddamn, hey, Canada, what's up? I see you.
Worthwhile
I see you, Evelyn.
To look at how he won and how Donald Trump's effort at a censorship plot has been going across the year. He spent a lot of 2025.
The things I learned.
I'm going to drag Trump. I'm going to drag him until he's out of office. Like, I hate fucking Trump. I have zero respect for him. And I'm not playing anymore. I was trying to be nice before, and I'm going to be fair, but I just lost a little bit more respect after I heard this thing about throwing the baby. Some woman or some girl having to throw her baby in the Lake Michigan. You know what I'm saying? When I heard the story about the Kiefer thing, when I'm hearing these things, it's really starting to disgust me, And you could probably hear it by how I'm talking. Like, this is very, very low life stuff. This is horrendous stuff this man has been accused of. Trump himself, let alone the fact that he's that bad as a president, and on top of it, he was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. I mean, his best friend is the goddamn prolific sex trafficking slave master, pedo. That's bad, yo. That's bad shit. This is not. What do you do? I mean, just imagine that. Like, you walk into a job, you know what I'm saying? And they just want to know. So tell us about yourself. What you been doing the last, 10 years? Who are your friends? Who's your best friend? And your best friend is the guy you've been hanging out with for 15 years is the most prolific sex trafficker in the country, pedophile. That's bad. That's not good. That's very, very bad. Birds of a feather flock together. Birds of a feather flock together. Now, Jeffrey Epstein might have some acquaintances, but Donald Trump ain't one of them. He's a straight up homeboy. That's like his rock and roll buddy. They locked arms and shit together. You know what I'm saying? They were thick as thieves and shit. In this, how else can you see it? How else can you see it? I don't know. Like, Jeffrey Epstein going to be a sex trafficker, but you'll trust Trump though. You would trust him, huh? Okay. All righty.
His view of opponents and criticism as something that should be punished, illegal, or outright attacked. The lawsuits, the intimidation. Some have capitulated, including multi-million-dollar settlements, even in cases where their own lawyers told them they would win if they only fought. Colbert saw his show canceled. The parent company says it was purely financial. But when you take it all together, you can see how capitulation works. Trump is also underwater.
Oh, put a 1 in the chat if you've ever met Trump before.
And facing a larger revolt as he
put a 2 in the chat if you haven't.
Ends the year, including on issues that were thought in the U.S. Tariffs are not a success either. We've had months now to take them in, although Trump has zigzagged. But the chart and the data shows that the tariffs have continued on and off with some, some sort of pullbacks at times. But overall, you see the rates went up. Didn't go down much. Trump
you would
knows
never,
there's an economic problem.
You would never get me defending any person that close to Jeffrey Epstein that I never met before. That just is absurd. You know what I mean? That's just absurd. I'm sorry, but it ain't happening.
He talks about it, but also seems to be in denial.
There's this fake narrative that the Democrats talk about, affordability. They just say the word. It doesn't mean anything to anybody. The word affordability. I inherited a mess. I inherited a total mess. It's a con job. I think affordability is the greatest con job. They look at you and they...
I don't mean met him for 2 seconds, man. I'm talking about actually met him for real. Like, really, like, I'm talking about, you got some shit with him, some business with him. You know, some family connection with him or business with him, something that will have you, you know, at Mar-a-Lago sometime or up in his office. I don't mean when he's running for office, you know, out there shaking everybody's goddamn head. That doesn't count. Okay. Just to remind some people, I saw somebody put a 1 in the chat. Sorry, that doesn't count. That's not what I'm talking about.
They say affordability. They don't say anything else. Everyone says, oh, the word affordability is a con job by the Democrats.
Look at that. So affordability is a con job by the Democrats, according to Trump. I mean, you know, okay.
That is how the president ended the year, those kind of claims in December. But that hasn't been well received, and it's up against a wider revolt. The economy doesn't help his position politically. The Epstein debacle has stretched well into Christmas. We can get to that. But the wider revolt across the year has been peaceful protests that show the Trump resistance is strong. Unlike some of those elites running some of those companies, these people aren't.
All right, so look, let's get on with it now. This accusation about the baby, you know, being thrown in Lake Michigan, you know, let's get down to this one. Let me see here. Let me just open this up real quick for everybody. You know, this is one of the more shocking allegations that I heard, but it's not the only one. So let's start off. Look, newly released Jeffrey Epstein files and some documents describe victim accounts of abuse, but there is no verified public record confirming specific allegations. Okay, so they haven't released, you know, obviously because they're still releasing the files, y'all. And Kash Patel and them and Pam Bondi won't answer those kind of questions, right? So let's go into it. There's a partial DOJ release of the files, right? The DOJ has begun releasing materials under the Epstein File Transparency Act, right? Verified documented victim accounts. One or more substantiated accounts in the recent released files, relates to Maria Farmer, who filed a complaint in 1996, right? We talked about this before, alleging Epstein possessed and stole nude photos of minors and threatened her to keep her silent. Okay, farmers had reported, according to the Washington Post, farmers had reported being sexually assaulted and her sister also abused. She says Epstein threatened her to suppress her claims. Now, let me see. That is the Washington Post, right? According to the Washington Post, let's see here. Some people are going to call that a liberal, but no. Actually, that's owned by Amazon, Scott Bezos. You know, he's not liberal. By the way, he doesn't want you to have a union job. He doesn't give a fuck about woke, right? He's right along with you MAGAs, basically. Let me see here. Epstein files involve child porn complaint a decade before federal investigation. Okay, Maria Farmer Long claimed that the FBI Jeffrey Epstein in 1990s, but the agency ignored her. So she went to the FBI. They ignored her, you know. Now, if that happened to your daughter, how would you feel? Anybody can feel free to answer that. If that happened to your daughter, how would you feel if they went to the FBI and said, somebody raped me, and they just brushed it off? Like, you know, again, where's the evidence, right? But she did report it. Now, maybe this is a better question. Do you congratulate them? Do you support them in reporting it to the FBI if they had no proof? What would you do? What would you tell your daughter? If your daughter claims she was raped, would you support her in going to the police or the FBI even if she didn't have proof? I want to see who comments. I know Kevin ain't going to comment because that's too revealing of a question for him. But maybe somebody else will. You know, if your daughter came to you and said that she was raped, right? Would you support her in going to the police? Put a 1 in the chat if you would support her in going to the police. Put a 2 in the chat if you wouldn't. I'm just curious about that. I'm going to say I support her definitely without question. Okay. Put a 1 in again, put a 1 in the chat if you would support her, even if she didn't have proof, right? Because this is what we essentially are talking about, right? So, this is what we're essentially talking about. This is how these files got in there so you see now, so these are the things that we're reading, allegations, right? Those are allegations that were made, right? So just to be clear, I believe I believe the allegations myself. I don't have it. Like I said before, I don't have any problem with anybody saying Trump raped them. I don't give a fuck. He's not my friend. What the fuck? Why do I care? Why is that a problem for me? Like he looks and acts like a motherfucker that probably did it to me. So I'm not going to waste my time being like, how you do that to that man? That's wrong. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not disappointed. I'm not hurt by the allegations. I'm not offended by these these reports. I think they totally fine. And I think they would be totally fine no matter who they talking about. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a goddamn who it is. Like, please don't not talk about this shit. Let's hear all the goddamn shit. Let's have it all out. You know what I'm saying? But okay. But in any case, it seems like so far everybody said they would support their daughter. But I have to ask that. I have to go on record. I got to ask straight up questions because, believe it or not, everybody doesn't think like you. You see what I'm saying? There are some people that would be like, no. So, or I can't assume that. So now we know. Nobody in the chat that is answered would not, they would definitely support it. They would not withhold their support. Okay, so other victim descriptions. Some news outlets reporting on newer batches of DOJ reviewed files have mentioned other documents involving victim statements, including one where a minor was approached under a pretext and then abused. But details and credibility of that account have not been independently verified by major news organizations yet. Okay? Now, for example, one report describes a 17-year-old who says she was targeted with a job offer and then abused, but specifics like sold or bought or brought to the U.S. and the use of they in that narrative have not been okay. Okay, let me see here. There is one now. Where was that at? Let me see here. Okay. Okay, let me open up this one. I'm going to pull it up on the screen in a second. Sorry about that. Here we go. Let me see here. Do me a favor, click the like button if you haven't clicked the like button. I'm going to pull this up real quick. Where is this at? Damn. One 17-year-old victim's statement recounts being approached in a park, brought to a location, drugged, and abused. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. Let me see. Download. Okay. Hold on. I'm almost there. Okay. Here we go. Now. Okay, here verified. Okay, here's the summary of the most serious verified allegations, right? These are verified allegations or accounts of crimes and abuses that have come out of the Epstein files so far, focusing only on credible information from public releases, not unverified. Okay, so there's verified and unverified. And unverified basically means since the FBI hasn't released all the files, it can't be verified, although victims have said it, through other avenues, right? They've said that they've reported other things, right? But it can't be verified yet, right? So focusing only on credible information from public releases, not unverified internet rumors, okay? Now let's see here. Trafficking and sexual abuse of minors confirmed by court, DOJ releases. These are among the most substantiated and serious accounts. They align with Epstein federal indictment and Maxwell's conviction. Sex trafficking of minors. Epstein was federally charged in 2019 with sex trafficking minors, recruiting girls, some as young as 14 years old, to be sexually abused and to recruit others. Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted of aiding and facilitating this trafficking. These are well established criminal findings, right? Victim interviews and witness notes. FBI interview notes and witness statements. Interview notes and witness statements in the release files describe recruitment, grooming, and abuse of underage girls at locations including Palm Beach and Epstein's residence. Okay, property evidence, search photos from law enforcement in Epstein's homes, and disturbing imagery, photographs of girls, including evidence suggesting they were minors. Specific disturbing testimony reported in new releases. Okay, here we go. Some documents contain serious allegations, but the DOJ has warned that claims are not necessarily verified fact. Like, no shit, Sherlock. So release the files. That's the whole point of releasing the Epstein files, so they can be verified, right? Alleged allegations of infant's death, at least verified that it's been reported or told to somebody, right? Allegations of infant's death and how it's been told. How many people was it told to? When was it told to? What are the descriptions? What are the, what are the details then? Allegations of infant's death. An allegation of an infant's death. This has been reported. This has been reported. Includes a statement where an unnamed trafficking victim alleged that she was trafficked at age 13, became pregnant. Let me pull this up. Let me pull this up. This is horrible. Let me pull this up. This is just horrible, man. I'm so sorry to even be talking about this stuff. To be honest, I hate to. It's just something really bad when you see 13 years old. She was trafficked at 13, became pregnant, and that her infant was killed and disposed of in Lake Michigan. This is a victim's claim in an unredacted investigative file, right? Not a verified court finding. This is an investigative file, okay, by the Popo. Mention of prior sexual assault and threats in older FBI investigative notes. Victims like Maria Farmer described Epstein stealing photos of her and her sisters, 12 and 16 at the time. 12. Taking them to photograph other girls and threatening her if she went to the authorities, right? So let me go back. I'm going to open up this first one. Let's see here. Allegations of infant death. Damn. Let me open this up. This is a Time article. Okay, but I'm going to open that up now. Now let's see here. Okay, that's this file right here. For people that don't know, you can search this on Google. This file, I actually have an article that's talking about it that's coming up. So I'm going to put that in the chat too. But let's see here. I mean, this is also mentioned on Wiki, is mentioned in Time magazine. Okay. Mention of prior sexual assault threats in the Maria Farmer described Epstein stealing photos, right? 12 and 16 at the time, taking them to her. Okay. Other girls and threatening her if she went to the authorities. Now, so they're saying they were threatened if they went to the authorities. And this is not the only one, right? Okay, mass redactions and missing material. Many documents released are heavily redacted, including entire pages blanked out, which means a lot of direct victims' witness testimony and law enforcement evidence is not publicly viewable. Look at this. Which means a lot of direct victims' witness testimony. Why is that redacted? and law enforcement evidence. Why is that not publicly viewable? Why is that the case? You see that redacted? There we go. Many documents released are heavily redacted, including entire pages blanked out, which means a lot of direct victims' witness testimony and law enforcement evidence is not publicly viewable. Why is that? That's illegal, according to the bill Trump just signed, right? Okay, deaths connected to Epstein's network, context and corroborated. Okay, here's how deaths have been referenced historically with context. Jeffrey Epstein's own death. Okay, Epstein died by suicide in a federal court. Okay, we know that. Okay, Jean-Luc. Okay, he also died of a hanging. Other alleged deaths. Okay, so let me see here. Circumstances verify credible reporting or part of the DOJ file release. Okay, there's no verifiable evidence. Now let me go to the actual one about the baby in Michigan. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm going to pull up. It's a few articles, and then I'm going to pull up. I was actually shocked to even find out that this is like a real thing. I was hoping this was just made up, that there was no mention, like that this hadn't actually been written about before, anything like that, that it's just outrageous. But yeah, let's see here. International Times. Let's open that one. Okay, let's see here. Now let me go and see if there's more on the bottom here. Who else wrote about this? Okay. Let me see here. There's a fact-checking thing about that. That's good. Let's see what else. Okay. Justice.gov is the official record, I guess, right here. Let's open that up. Okay. And then let's see here. What else? Snoops. Let's do that. All right. So let me see here. First, let me go to the article here at Yahoo. Let's see. Fact check tips. Alleged Trump witness Epstein victim's baby killed, dumped in Lake Michigan. I mean, this is actually a real story. In December 2025, the U.S. Department of Justice released FBI tip in which a complainant alleged President Donald Trump witnessed her uncle kill her newborn. See, I didn't know it was the uncle. Let me take my camera off the screen real quick. Yeah, and I'm also going to make this text a little bigger so you all can read it a little bit better than this. Let me see here. Right? Okay, so that should be a little better now. Oh, should I make this smaller or what? What's going on? Something doesn't seem to be right. Come on. Here we go. There we go. So I think you all can see this now. So here we go. In December 2025, the U.S. Department of Justice released an FBI tip in which a complainant alleged President Donald Trump witnessed her uncle kill her newborn child and dispose of the body in Lake Michigan when she was 13 and being trafficked for sex by Epstein. Okay. Now, although the document is real, its claims have not been substantiated. Okay. After the U.S. Department of Justice released a slew of files related to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein in December 2025, a claim emerged on multiple social media platforms, okay, that someone who claimed to have been trafficked for sex by Epstein submitted a tip to the FBI that the U.S. President Donald Trump witnessed her uncle kill her newborn child and disposed of the body in Lake Michigan. You know what? I'm really curious about this because they have a tip. I'm thinking that they have a name of the person they gave the tip. And when someone says that they have an uncle, that's somebody else that could say that, yeah, this happened, right? Now, let's see here. It turns out that when Trump talked about post-birth abortions, he was describing his own practices throwing newborn babies into Lake Michigan. Damn. Okay, now, let's see here. Is this the document? I mean, I actually have the document too, but let's open this one up real quick since it's here, right? And just see what it says. Oh, I opened that up multiple times. Sorry about that. Right. Here we go. Now let's see here. What do we got? Is this it right here? Come on. I wonder why it's not opening. Maybe it's not there anymore. Is that it? Two seconds. Sorry for the delay. Okay. Yeah, it's opening up now. It's just taking a second. Do me a favor, click the like button, y'all. If you haven't clicked the like button, I appreciate it. Helps more people get into this stream. Now, let me see here. What does this say? Right? This says, let me just make it a little larger. Okay. So this says, this was what? Okay, here we go. Additional, again, just trying to find out the NYPD detective on the FBI sex trafficking task force and called me a couple of weeks ago. Okay. And spoke to me about some of these issues. How is contact known? He participated regularly in paying money to force me to blank with him, and he was present when my uncle murdered my newborn child and disposed of the body in Lake Michigan. Type business. Okay. Address blank, 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 Washington, D.C. Okay. And this went to the FBI.gov, right? And what's witness information? But what date was this? All right, so that's okay. In any case, it's viewed, so that's out of the way. Now let me just go on here and read this one. Let's see. Jeffrey Epstein files. DOJ releases unfounded claim linking Donald Trump to infant murder. U.S. DOJ released controversial Epstein files containing unverified allegations against Donald Trump regarding a 1984 incident. Okay, so this is 1984. So that is available. That's interesting from the document, right? That's 1984. Damn. I would have been 14 years old when this happened myself, right? There aren't many names that cause as much trouble in the shady world of politics and scandal as those in the newly released files of the late financier Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of people who were busy in the holiday celebrations, but a set of papers that in the U.S. Department of Justice, DOJ, released on Christmas Eve 2025 has caused a stir on social media. The staggering release came after, can you all read this? Let me make this a little bigger too. Sorry about that. Right. Easy on the eyes, right? The staggering release came after the DOJ missed a congressional mandate deadline. Right. They missed that deadline. I mean, that's yeah, that's not a good sign of being confident. Okay. Missed the congressional mandate deadline of 19 December 2025 set by the Epstein Files Transparency Act, a bipartisan law President Trump signed in November 2025 requiring all unclassified records be released within 30 days. The latest batch released on 24th December included roughly 30,000 documents through the DOJ announced it is still approximately 1 million additional documents requiring legal review, with officials saying completion could take a few weeks more. Okay. I'm sure in a few weeks they're going to be like, a few more weeks. The papers make a lot of trouble, a lot of troubling claims that haven't been proven yet, which once again brought the former president's relationship with convicted sex trafficker into the news. The most chilling claim involves a purported incident from 1984 involving the alleged murder of a newborn baby. According to these files, an unnamed individual identified as a victim of Epstein's trafficking ring submitted a complaint. So listen, this is an allegation that she made about who? About Epstein. So even if you are a Trump supporter, let me ask the Trump supporters, right, in the chat, all you Trump supporters, do you believe Epstein could have done this? If you believe Epstein could have done this, Trump supporters, if you believe Epstein could have done this, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, put a 2 in the chat. I'm just curious about that. Because this is, hey, Tia, what's up, Tia? Good to see you, Fireball. Where you been? Yeah, sorry about that. I'm just seeing you in the chat. Good to see you back. I hope you had a good winter holiday. Yeah, and it's not over yet. But listen, for the MAGA supporters, put the people that support Trump, let me know about that allegation. Now, the allegation is that Epstein assaulted her and sex trafficked her, right? So let me ask you, do you believe it? Because it's not about Trump. It's about Epstein, right? It's only about Trump saw it. But the acts itself, do you believe Epstein could have committed an act like that? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe Epstein could have committed an act like that. That is, if you're a MAGA supporter. Libs and Dems, don't worry. Sit back on this one. I want to know from the MAGA supporters, do they believe what was just said about Jeffrey Epstein? The accusation. If you believe it, put a 1 in the chat if you're a MAGA supporter. If you're not, if you don't believe it, put a 2 in the chat. Now let's go back to this article, and I'm going to refer back to this and see just what the answers are, how the MAGA folks answer this one. I'm curious about it. Now let's see here. Where's the damn article? Here we go. Okay. However, the FBI intake form is dated March 3rd, 2020, not August in this. Okay, hold on. Let me go back here. The most chilling claim involves a purported incident from 1984 involving the alleged murder of a newborn baby. According to these files, an unnamed individual identifying as a victim of Epstein's trafficking ring submitted a complaint to the FBI. And okay, so this was submitted in 2020, August 2020, right? However, the FBI intake form is dated March. Okay, so that was March 2020. Okay, not August. In this statement, the complaint alleged that they were a 13-year-old girl. At the time, they were being trafficked by Epstein and an uncle. Damn. So they say it's Epstein and an uncle was trafficking them. The report details a horrific scene on a yacht in Mona Lake, Michigan, where the victim's uncle allegedly murdered her infant daughter and disposed of the body in the water. The alleged incident occurred between May and September 1984, according to the victim's account. The victim claimed she had been a pregnant 13-year-old during this period and that her newborn was killed because I gave birth to her while in the middle of this sex trafficking ordeal. The woman specifically sought a follow-up with the NYPD detective she had previously spoken to, claiming she had called him days before the alleged an infanticide, right? About her sex trafficking situation, okay? Chilling infanticide allegations, Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein documents specifically file. Okay, the file is EFTA 000-25010 or 10. Lists Donald Trump as a witness to the alleged crime. Crucially, the file does not allege that the former president participated in the murder itself, but rather that he was present when it occurred. Okay. Trump is named as a witness only. Nowhere in the DOJ files do federal law enforcement agents prosecutors indicate that Trump was suspected of wrongdoing or investigating. Okay, so that's an important note. I hadn't gotten this far myself. So, yeah, but it's good to note this. The victim claimed she had been trafficked to various high-profile individuals, asserting that Trump participated regularly in paying money to coerce her into sexual acts. So she is saying that Trump raped her, essentially, right? The filing provides a specific location for the alleged incident originating from Mona Lake, Michigan, and occurring between May and September in 1994. The complaint was submitted to the FBI on the 3rd of March 2020, 4 months before the 2020 presidential election. Journalist David Schuster was among the first to flag the specific document, highlighting the 1985 time frame and the heinous nature of the claims. In reality, the document references incidents from 1984, not 85. The online reaction was swift and visceral. Politicians, commentators, including the prominent voice of Supertansky, noted that the world's most powerful men have long been this is what I'm curious. If you could believe Pizzagate, why can't you believe this? All right. How many of you believed? How many of you? Yo, Dylan, what's up? How many of you believed Pizzagate? Put a 1 in the chat if you believed Pizzagate. Put a 2 in the chat if you didn't. Because I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what is this? Yo, Don. Hey, Don. Yo, I'm like, what is this? You know, people. If you could believe Pizzagate, why the hell can't you believe this? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you done goofed. Do you believe what's being read in front of you? Do you believe that part? This shit that they saying about Trump? Damn, this is the actual file right here. Is this it? Oh my goodness. And see, I can't really make this huge, but let me see. I can make it big, but you won't be able to read it. But let me see here. Right. This is the file, yo. And the file says a lot. Seems like it's saying a whole lot more in here. Let me see here. Maybe this is about additional things. So I'm going to go through this real quick. Let's see. Now, this is the case ID 50DNY 30-27-571. Okay, Epstein sex trafficking, right? And this is the 8th of 2020, right? 8/3/2020, right? Okay, so this is it. Now let's see here. Okay, 5:11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Blank, something very long. Blank. Date of birth. Okay, that must be multiple names, right? First and last name. Date of birth. Blah blah blah. Email address. Blah blah blah. Okay. Now, New Mexico is where the person is addressed. Los Lunas, New Mexico, right? That's the area. Cellular telephone number blocked out. Internet protocol address. Okay, that's blocked out, which resolves Albuquerque, at Albuquerque. Okay, that's interesting. New Mexico submitted an online tip to the FBI National Threat Operations Center via tips. Okay, let me pull up my camera here for y'all. Sorry about that, because since you won't be able to read all of this, I'm gonna put this in the chat, by the way. As a matter of fact, let me put this in the chat now for folks. Let me see, where was that at? That was right here. Where's this at? Snooze. Let me close this down. Let me get this back up. Here, I just want to get you guys the actual file that I'm reading so you can have it for yourselves. Here we go. Time. Here it is. That's that's not there. So where? It must be here. Docs. Here it is. So let me get this one for you. And hopefully this actually comes up in the chat for people. Let me see here. Let me try to get this up. Is it coming? There it is. All right, here we go. Now let me get this in the chat for everybody. And then you guys can take this home. You can read it yourself if you haven't had a chance to, or if you didn't get a chance to read it. Let's see here. Where's the chat at? Is it opening? Come on. It's taking some time. Maybe my internet is slow. Sorry about that if it's glitching out. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Let's see this now. This is the file, okay? So is it over? Is that good enough? Let me see. Boom. Can you all see that? There it is right there, okay? And I'm going to put it at the top also. Let me know if that link works, by the way. And then also what I'm going to do is put this. I'm going to replace the pin message. So hopefully that helps out. And then I'm going to go to let me just go over to the post. Then I'm going to post it on the posting page, right? So just in case the link in the chat doesn't work for some people. Let's see here. And then get back to reading this thing. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. I appreciate everybody coming out today for the live. Let me know if there's any questions, legitimate questions, because nobody want me actually cursing anybody out here. There's no point. But let me know if you have any particular questions also in general. And actually, I wanted to say the other day, somebody asked me about what program I used. And I actually said I use OBS, and I do. To do the live streaming right now, I use OBS. But I forgot to say that I also use, when I'm live on my phone, I use a different program. And I forgot to mention that to people. And that program is called, what is it called on my phone? It's called Prism. Yeah, Prism Live. You can look that up. Anyone who wants to know that. People that have been around a while, they know I used to also go from my phone from time to time. So now it's up, but it's Prism software for my mobile phone when I'm live streaming. And yeah, and from my desktop, which I'm on now, it's OBS's system that I use. So yeah, so now that that's out of the way, let's see here. Let me get back to this file, and I hope you all could download it. If you couldn't download it, go to the posting page and you will see it there. So let me just go here now and get back to this and open this up. Let's see here. Okay, so I previously provided threat to life false. Okay, does it? I don't know what that means. It just says that, right? But I previously provided a tip about 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago. Under an alias, I'm sorry, I have for myself blank. All the other details of the previous tip match, all the information given in today's tip, except I am giving my real name. Okay, so they gave their real name this time around. A detective from NYPD, FBI Sex Trafficking Task Force called me a couple of weeks ago. So this is information for people. This is important to know because, listen, again, I told people I find out new information every day. I'm learning things every day. I do not know it all. I do not claim to know it all. And, and I would even say nobody knows it all because all the files haven't been released. And so in light of that, we should be kind of reasonable about the things we do come across. And listen, there's no point in being a diehard Trump fan or defending Trump because you don't know what's in these files. And there's no point in defending Bill Clinton. You don't know what's in his file. You don't know who else is in his files and what it is. So no need to take any harsh stance about anybody's innocence right about now. You know what I'm saying? So you might be disappointed. You know what I'm saying? Because some people are in these files now. Now let's see here, and I want to find out myself. And it's not going to be a big deal for me. Whoever it is, I'm going to have the same vigor. You see what I mean? And I hope everybody else does too, because disgusting is disgusting. No, I don't vouch for Bill Clinton and having sex with Monica Lewinsky. I think that was fucked up and foul. You're not supposed to be, number one, he's a married man. Number two, you're not supposed to be trying to date people that you work with. Like, goddamn, that's not cool. Maybe it might happen from time to time, but goddamn, this is an intern, man. Come on, this is a young woman at that time, Monica Lewinsky, and on top of that, you married, man. It's unprofessional. So come on, But in any case, so I don't vouch for Bill Clinton. Anybody that has that in their mind, you got it all wrong about me. No, yeah, that's not me. But all the other details of the previous tip match. Okay, a detective from NYPD FBI sex trafficking task force called me a couple of weeks ago from a 212 area code number. I talked to him for about 20 or 30 minutes about my being sex trafficked by my uncle. Okay, so they pretty much can. That's interesting. She got a real name. She's saying her uncle and Jeffrey Epstein in 1984 while I was 13 and pregnant. I told him some other important information about other high-profile individuals involved in my sex trafficking and other murder and disposal of my newborn daughter, because I gave birth it's because the text is a little light. I gave birth to her while in the middle of this sex trafficking ordeal. I cannot remember. So this was a newborn daughter. I cannot remember the detective's name, nor do I have a number. Okay. So here we go. Where I can contact him. I would like to have his name and contact information. And I would also like to know if there will be any further follow-up violation other. Okay, but keep in mind, Donald Trump has a lot of influence in New York City. That's one thing people should pay attention to and take note of in this. So Donald Trump got away with a lot of shit in New York, right? He got away with these tax scams for this fraud with these apartments, the pricing for a long time. And Donald Trump's a billionaire. So you could, just like people suspected that Puffy had some police people turning a blind eye to his activity, just like people, do you believe Puffy had people turning a blind eye to his activity because of the money he had? Well, if you believe that about Puffy, then you definitely could easily believe that about Trump, because Trump had more money than Puffy. All right. And and really is from New York City. Unlike Puffy, he's from, upstate a little bit, right? Not dissing Mount Vernon or anything, but it ain't that far. But in any case, so here, violation questions. What was the exact crime that occurred? Child sex trafficking and infanticide. I'm sorry. When did the crime incident occur? Please provide an approximate date. Between May and September 1984. Where did the crime incident occur? Please provide the specific location, address if possible. Mostly from a yacht in Lake Michigan, originating from Mona Lake, Michigan. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder where Mona. Let me see something here. Let me look this up real quick. Mona Lake, Michigan. Let me hold on. This is here. Okay, let me just pull this over here to this. Now, Mona Lake, Michigan. Let me just see what that is real quick. Mona Lake, Michigan. Let's see what that is. I'm just curious about that because I don't know too much about Michigan myself. So let's see here. Where's the lake? Mona Lake, Michigan. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Okay, damn. What? Where's that at? Michigan? This is Michigan. And this is Milwaukee. So is this Mona Lake right here? This big hack to the left? Yeah, that's Lake Michigan. Yeah. That's what that is. Let me see. What does it say again? Los Lunas. So let me look that up. No, let me go back to this. Where is this? Mona Lake, Michigan. Okay, it said Lona Make. What does it say? Mona Lake, Michigan, originating from Mona Lake, Michigan. Okay. Please provide mostly in a yacht. Okay. So Mona Lake. Is this Mona Lake? What the? I'm not really seeing where it is. Mona Lake, Michigan. Is it okay? I'm not really sure. Let me see something. Let me pull this out again. Right. Okay. So there's one to the right. That's Mackinac. Okay, Mackinac Island is up there. So Mona Lake, Michigan must be one of these in the top here, right? Is it somewhere around here? Mona Lake, Michigan. Let me search that one more time. Okay, now I'm getting the accurate place. Okay, so it's right there. That's Mona Lake, Michigan, and that's a yacht. Okay, so you see that there it is right there. So if we zoom out from here, so that's off of Lake Michigan. That's a smaller lake off of Lake Michigan towards the south, right? Not all the way in the south, but towards the southern part. All right, now that's what I wanted to get. All right, perfect. So let's go back to this one now. Now that we got that as a reference. All right, so let's see here. First name blocked out. Middle name, last name. Okay, additional info. Okay, let me see country. Okay, what? New Mexico. Okay, that's in New Mexico. That's her address, Los Lunas. That's where she's from, I guess. Right, so here we go. Unclassified. Age, December. DOB doesn't say it. Additional info. I'm just wanting to reconnect with the original detective that called me. I offered information about this. How is contact known? He was orchestrating a deal along with my uncle where different men and a few women and girls would come to a variety of boats and yachts and pay money. See, now you see where I'm going with this, right? For people that don't know, listen, I've been saying this for a minute. The pictures being blacked out, right? You understand that? And I've also been saying, it could be, and I suspect it is, the reason why you see pictures blacked out is not necessarily because of just who's in them, but because of the locations. Like, when you see people's residence or homes or things like that, it's, someone else might recognize it and be able to say where it is, these kind of things. So, that was the thought that came to my mind. Now let's go back to this. So they're claiming that this is a yacht. A yacht is a location, right? So far what you got is an idea that, I'm curious who owned this yacht. Does Trump own a yacht? Does Jeffrey Epstein own a yacht, right? Whose property is the yacht? You see? And were there cameras on this yacht? Was there photographs on this yacht, right? These are the questions that come to mind when I hear this story. Okay, now let's see here. Variety of boats and yachts. See, would come to a variety of boats. This is many boats and yachts. And pay money to force me to blank with them. And I was 13 and pregnant. Okay, witness information. She's saying Donald Trump is the witness. Now, the next statement, Trump is a witness to, right? Okay. Additional info. Again, just trying to find out the NYPD detective. Is this? Are these written on different dates? Yeah, hold on. 8-3. No, this is part of the same date. Okay. Here we go. I'm just wanting to reconnect with the original detective that called me and I offered information about this. How can I contact known? He was orchestrating a deal along with my uncle where different men and a few women and girls would come to a variety of boats and yachts and pay money to force me to do blank with them when I was 13 and pregnant. Okay. Okay. So it goes on to say Trump is the witness. Additional info, again, just trying to find out. NYPD detective on the FBI sex trafficking task force called me a couple of weeks ago and spoke to me about some of these issues. How is contact known? He participated regularly in paying money to force me to blank with him. And this is a long blank. This is a long blank right here. This blank is long. That's interesting. Okay. Me to blank with him. Maybe that's two blanks with him. And he was present when my uncle murdered my newborn child and disposed of the body in the lake. Alrighty. Yeah, so that puts Donald Trump as a as an alleged witness to a crime, right? Numerous crimes, and let alone rape. Yeah. Because obviously, if you do see something like that, you need to report it. But if you were involved in sex trafficking, obviously you probably wouldn't report things that other people that were there were doing to the police if you were involved yourself, So, yeah, I don't know. That's a very horrible. This is a horrible event, and if it happened, this is a horrendous event. If it happened, and I really, for the life of me, can't figure out why anybody would look at Donald Trump and suspect that. Let me ask a different question. Is it possible that he has done this? I'll make that that's a more open question. Is it possible in your eyes that Donald Trump has done this? Put a 1 in the chat if it is possible. Put a 2 in the chat if it is not possible in your mind. I want to see what everybody has to say about this. This is just damning. Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's possible. Put a 2 in the chat if you think it is not possible at all. I mean, I don't see why anybody would put 2. I mean, goddamn, this is why I got to ask it like this, because it's like possible is not, did he do it? Possible is not even, do you believe he did it? Possible is just like, yeah, it's possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Exactly. Accessory after the fact. Yo, do me a favor. Click the like button if you don't mind. It helps more people get in contact with the stream and see the video later. Okay, let me read this. He's a witness is damning. Oh my God, this is some shit. Listen, I read this and I was just like, I'm sorry, but this shit hitting after all these other stories. A lot of these stories, when they add up, they have a similar thing, like how they're meeting. This girl didn't see that was important to go to the actual police report, right? Because it had things the article didn't have in it. So it kind of corroborates things, or it matches up to other things. Now, this thing about a yacht, numerous yachts, numerous other girls. I mean, does that sound outside of the scope of Donald Trump to get a yacht, to get numerous yachts? Does that sound like out of the scope of Epstein? I see a lot of people didn't like this question though, because I made this question so basic. Is it possible? Again, anybody in the chat, if I'm asking you a question, is it possible that this happened? If it's possible, put a 1 in the chat. If it's not in your mind, put a 2. Don't be afraid to chime in on that opinion, right? I know people got a lot of opinions, but that's an important opinion too. Do you think this is possible? Or do you think it's not possible? Put a 2 in the chat if you do not think it's possible. Put a 1 in the chat if you think it is. I just want to see, because some of these Trump supporters dodge basic questions. You know, you can't ask them nothing basic, you know. Ain't bad enough they capping for a motherfucker they never met, would never want to be around them, considers them scum because they have no money. I mean, you're broke. And you out here capping. You got nothing better to do than to cap with Donald Trump? God damn. I don't get it. I'm telling you, I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. I'm spending more time with you than Donald Trump ever would, and you don't cap for me. We're probably closer in the economic sphere. I hope we are, at least. You know what I'm saying? I know you ain't a billionaire. I know you likely not a millionaire here. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? I would not leave my dog with Trump. Oh no, this is bad. This is bad. This is not good at all. I don't have to just be honest. I think the motherfucker did it. I think he did it. I think he's that foul. I think he is that foul. And why? Because there's plenty of foul people. Oh, this is on the mob level. When you're dealing with real money on the mob level, shit. Yo, man, shit happens. Don't forget, shit happens in that world. And he sounds like he's part of that dark world where he believes he can get away with anything already. I believe this is part of it. You know what I'm saying? I believe this is part of it. Now, if it's not, that's okay too, because I'm not saying I know, right? But I'm saying I believe. I believe it. To me, it matches his vibe, his energy, and all that, and everything else he was up to. You know, it's really bad. It's really bad. But let me go now. Let me slide out of this one real quick. I want to ask a couple of questions about that. Whose yacht? Oh no, did Epstein or Trump own yachts? Have Epstein or hold on. Now New York, that could have been Trump or Epstein. They both around that area. You know, they don't like to spend all their time down in the city. They like to do the posh shit, you know, so got to go somewhere with you know, but who knows? Epstein, hold on. Did Epstein or Trump ever own or lease a yacht or multiple yachts? I'm just curious. You know, this you know, this might be on Trump's business records. It might be public information about him. You know, his helicopter. He used to lease helicopters now, so it wouldn't be out of the scope, right? Jeffrey Epstein and yachts. Epstein business yachting connections. Epstein had involvement in super yachting world. There you have it. Though not necessarily as a private yacht owner under his own name, right? Because typically it's easier to lease them. You know, it's less troublesome. You don't have to maintain them. You just pay some money and, you know, you don't have to do any other work, right? He served as a financial advisor and played a role in the development of 100 million super yachts called Limitless for billionaire Les Wexner. You don't say. Okay. Former head of brands and a key Epstein patron. Epstein attended meetings related to the yacht design. Okay. The yacht Limitless was built in 1997 and registered in Newport, Rhode Island with a crew and luxury accommodations. Okay. Epstein owned yacht-related business interests. Okay. Epstein owned a 50% stake in American Yacht Harbor. I mean, just think about this. A marina on St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. This gave him involvement in a yachting facility rather than direct ownership of large private yachts. Yeah. Summary, Epstein did not publicly own a yacht, a super yacht in his name like some billionaires, but he did have businesses involved in yacht development and marina operations. So he could have got access to yachts, right? Look at this. Trump confirmed own. They just jumped out with confirmed. Trump owned one. Not even does this ring a bell? It's like he's gonna one up Epstein and shit on the yacht shit. It's like, yeah, I own a yacht. That's crazy, right? Mr. Trump, have you ever owned a yacht? Yes. You asked Mr. Epstein, have you ever owned a yacht? No, Your Honor. Okay. Yeah. Trump confirmed yacht ownership. Donald Trump did own a super yacht. Historically, in 1987, Trump bought this one. He bought Jeffrey Epstein's, or he possesses Jeffrey Epstein's. What the hell is that plane called? The Lolita Express. He possesses it. It was his campaign airplane. That shit is crazy. But it's facts. This is facts. That's not good facts though. It's making Trump looking like, damn, man, you tend to be involved in shit like this. Now, 1980 or around it, or have proximity to it, or possess it. He possessed the damn airplane. Now, damn. In 1987, Trump bought a large super yacht originally named Nabila. I'm going to look that up right away, because Lolita, if you never heard what the Lolita Express is named after, have y'all heard that? The Lolita Express, the airplane that Trump was named after, it's not just by chance. It's a book. It's named after a book about an old ass man who had a fantasy, who had a relationship and a desire over a minor girl, a girl that was a minor. Yes. That's what that shit is about. That's crazy. Lolita. He named his plane after that. Now, this is Nabila. Damn, what is up with these 3 syllables and shit? Okay. Which had belonged to Saudi billionaire Adnan Khashoggi. Trump renamed his yacht Trump Princess after purchasing it. The yacht featured luxury accommodations and was docked at the Atlantic City, where it was used in conjunction with Trump's casino and hospitality business. In 1991, Trump sold the yacht. When did he buy that yacht? That's going to be interesting to find out. Sold the yacht, which was then renamed Kingdom 5KR by its new owner, Saudi Prince Walid bin Talal. No current recorded yacht ownership. Okay, leasing charting. There's no verified evidence Trump personally leased the yacht long term and as an asset in his business operations in recent years, while individuals with high wealth sometimes charter yachts for events or travel. There's no official record of Trump did as part. Okay, so let me see here. When did Trump buy the yacht? Let me see here. When did he buy the yacht? Okay. 1987. He bought it in 1987 and then he sold it in 1997. Okay, so that's 1987. Now let me see something here. 1987. This is 1984, if I remember correctly. Okay, so just to double check that's all I wanted to do to try to just see what matches up there. Now, of course, this is not absolute. There's a lot more information that's obviously going to come out, a million more documents. I mean, but you let me know. I mean, does this sound like it has a pattern to it? Let me know if you think it has a pattern. That story, if it lines up with other witness or victims' testimonies. Let me know what you think about that. And now let me get into the chat. I want to see who's in there talking. Let me see. And also hit the like button, y'all. Appreciate it. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. Yeah, it's possible. I see a lot of people hit ones. It's possible. I think it's possible. I would not leave my dog with Trump. Me either. He could care less about any of it. Yeah, what the... man, why would anyone care? Like, some of these people act like they are offended someone made allegations at Trump. Like, that just broke their heart. No. It's like, man, what business is that of mine? God damn, if somebody went out of their way to make those allegations, maybe they fucking true. What the fuck? Why should I be offended? If you got more allegations, make more. I want to hear them. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn. Like, I don't get it. But for some people, it's like sweat off their back and shit. They just can't even deal with it. Okay. Listen to this. Let's see here. It's just a game for them. Yo, Thorne, what's up, yo? Exactly. It's just a game for them. To me, it sounds like how they It sounds like they could get away with it. And let's be honest, if P. Diddy, the people suspect that P. Diddy paid off a lot of people, look, he paid off the hotel people. You dig? You see what I mean? That video didn't come out for a long time. The police didn't seem to have it, right? You know, could he have paid off police? I mean, I think Donald Trump is from New York City, man. He's a billionaire from New York City. Well, come on. Put 2 and 2 together. You don't think there's no corrupt cops? You don't think he got investigators? A billionaire? You think a billionaire in New York dude don't have his own investigators? Don't have no police on the payroll? You think that's likely? I think you're incredibly naive if you think he doesn't. You know, I'm not saying I know, but I would at least think he would, because he got $1 billion. Goddamn, he's got a lot of shit to protect. I mean, why not? The cops want an extra check. You know what I'm saying? Like, they do that shit. They moonlight all the damn time. So, yeah. I mean, that's what I thought. Now let's see here. Yeah, Eric started at 12 years old, right? Yes, a riverboat on Lake Michigan. Yeah. Let me see here, Dawn. Can I find that? Okay, let me see here. Oh man, this is so funny. I love some of the trolls. Some of the comments are blocked out, man. It's so like I told you, they don't like you to talk about Trump. They don't like you to talk about anybody but Trump. Got to get back to Hillary Clinton drinking blood. By the way, Trump doesn't want you to know because he ain't releasing the Epstein files, although it would be in his interest to, but apparently he can't find it. You know, he can't even find anything about Hillary drinking baby blood. It's like, what the fuck? He's not even trying to corroborate. Trump doesn't even want to release the files. If the files proved him to be innocent, why wouldn't he just release them? Why wouldn't he just release the files? Yeah, Pizzagate. Come on, show me something about Pizzagate, y'all. Can we get some files released about Pizzagate up in this Epstein shit? Was there anything real? Like, come on, just release it, Trump. Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, any of y'all, can you please do that? Nah, it ain't coming. It ain't coming. All right, so let's see here. Trump passes to what he got. Barron Trump learning the game. So the saga will continue. Facts. Yo, facts, Mr. Who was that? Vinogatti? Facts. Yeah, he does. He's got his protege. His damn son is going to be out there molesting girls and shit. You know, possibly if he doesn't get help. You know, maybe his character's greater, but it don't sound like it. He sounds like he's not off to a good start. You know, maybe it's a case of the apple don't fall far from the tree. You know, the apple don't. I mean, you know, it's sad though. I hate to say that, but in any case, y'all. So you saw that file. It's going to be plenty more, and you know, it's damning. It is damning if you ask me. It's not the only one. You can't even get through. I think people should really try to go outside of even my podcast, right? Go outside of all the podcasts that are there and really just go through these files yourself, because like when I'm listening to podcasters talk about this, and I'm listening to some good ones, by the way, you know, Midas Touch and a few others, right? Not to leave anybody out, but it's definitely a few others. Damn, Jack Cocciarelli, isn't that his name? He's hilarious, but he comes with facts hard. Adam Mockler comes with facts hard. You know what I'm saying? But he's from the Gen Zers, and you know, I'm a little bit older than that, a lot older. But you know, Joe Rogan, yeah, he's a I don't really dig him because he seems kind of lazy about the shit he does. But every once in a while, he has an epiphany where he just all of a sudden wakes up out of the slumber and is like, this don't make sense actually. You know, Trump, what? How come he did? You know, it's like, yeah, he does that. Legal AF, legal as fuck. Keith Edward, exactly. Yo, yeah, for real. Keith Edwards is also in DC, right? Legal AF. I don't know where. What's his name? His last name starts with a P, right? He's down with the Midas touch though. But what's his name? I forget his name. But listen, but he's great though. I watch Legal AF, also when I get a chance, and these guys are actually bringing facts. But here's the thing. I'm just saying, even though I watch a lot of these guys, I also take the time to look at some of the files to myself. Because what I found is that, these podcasts, all of them, even mine, it can't, Popak, exactly. Big up to Popak too. These files from Legal AF, the files, when you read the files or the podcasters, nobody can get all the horrific shit out there. There's so much horrific shit. You need to read this shit yourself because it's horrible and the details really do matter. The details really do matter. Like, I didn't know it was several yachts, for example. I didn't know that. That wasn't in some of the news articles. I never heard that mentioned before by anyone reporting on it. You see what I'm saying? So Luke Beasley, yeah, exactly. Luke Beasley is also dope. He's hilarious, actually. Luke Beasley is hilarious, by the way. But yeah, I would tell you, I'm going to say, get in there and read some of these documents yourself because there's a lot there, and it's hard for anybody to cover all of this shit. This shit is it's a goddamn Pandora's box. You know what I mean? It's really a Pandora's box. And, I just say, you would be disappointed if you didn't look a little bit into the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it is bad. It is bad. And I just really hope people do that. This is your president's buddy, at least, right? And some of this shit is about your president. Like, goddamn, do you really want to hear somebody say, yeah, I told President Trump saw a girl have her baby thrown off a yacht. You really want to hear that? Does that sound good to you? Is that something you would just walk away from like, oh, well, doesn't concern me. MAGA! Doesn't concern me. I don't care what you say about Trump. Doesn't concern me. It's like these people be going at it like that. Like, they just don't give a damn. And it is true. Trump said that he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue. Is that what he said? Or Broadway? And nobody would care. That's how his supporters are. His supporters wouldn't care. And it is like that. So I'm not surprised. But in any case, folks, I appreciate you all for coming out. I'm going to be out. I'm going to be back in 12 hours again, like clockwork this time. And this is just a fucking downer. This is like, I don't like Trump. But this is a downer. Like, reading that is a downer to me. It doesn't give me pleasure. It doesn't, just because it's Trump, it doesn't give me pleasure at all reading it because this is some horrendous stuff. I don't know what can come out of this. What would make a person feel good about reading any of this shit? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I really wish it wasn't so. And, but it is so. And these are things that have been said about Trump. And this is connected to him. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean he did it, but goddamn, I've never had so many people talking. Put a 1 in the chat if you had so many people talking about you like this. Please tell me. Have you had somebody talking about you like this? Put a 1 in the chat. Who is that person? Who is that? Because I've never had nobody talking this much. All this kind of shit. Like, don't get me wrong. You could say less shit and it would be bad. It would harm a person's reputation. But the shit that is being said about Trump is really, really bad. I don't like comparing weirdos, you know what I'm saying? And evildoers, and problematic, toxic, rich people, they're all bad. But Trump, the things they're saying about him are very, very bad. It tends to have a lot to do with minors, rape, now deaths, people dying. 2 people allegedly died. 1 person allegedly died when they reported the incident. And now this one is like a baby or something like that, right? Could have died, something like that. Like, that's sad. And, you know, I just wonder, like, do people take a moment to even think? This world is so fast moving with internet and media and information. Do people even stop to even think about the grievance? You know, how grieved a person would be that went through that? Do people care? You know, for the girl who that did, if that did happen to that girl, you know, my heart goes out to you. That's horrific. That's sad. And it shows you how cruel this world is. Like, really, that's a horrible, horrible account, you know, of a life. That's horrible. You know, people just don't deserve that. And no little girl deserves that. That is just horrible, man. That's horrible, you know. So my heart goes out to her. I hope she finds peace, you know, and the rest of the victims too. I hope they all find peace, because I know that's got to be like the major goal to life, is to just be able to find a way to live in peace, you know, without being just mentally tormented. You know what I'm saying? But on that note, I appreciate you all going out. You can hear I'm not feeling too well about this, but I'm going to think about it a little bit more. I appreciate everybody. Click the like button if you don't mind. I hate saying that after this shit. You know, subscribe, whatever. Just, you know, pass the video around. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. You know, I got something like 7,800 mods. I'm trying to get to 8,000 if that's possible. And, you know, that's only like maybe 100 or 200 more. But I appreciate everybody for coming out. Bits, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. And Tia, good to see you back, Tia. I appreciate you too. You all really been helping out a lot, especially with the modding. And, you know, I appreciate you all so much, man. You know, yeah, hopefully this one gets better. Yeah, everybody that celebrates Christmas, do have a Merry Christmas. Do have a Happy New Year. Do have a happy winter holidays with your families and things like that. And that's an important point. Like, when you see how bad things can be, embrace the ones that are positive around you and your loved ones, and let them know you love them, because, you know, life could be different, and it is different for some, you know, sadly enough. So on that note, I'm out. I'm going to catch up with you all very soon. All right. Peace. I appreciate it. 1. We still waiting on the Epstein files, and we waiting on Trump to be impeached. Let's just get it over with, because this is disastrous, I swear. All right, y'all. 1.
I know how to see a whack MC when he bustin', but I just back away real cool, no fussin'. I'd rather go kicking in the streets with the bums and use the knowledge to collect what? Some funds. Open a non-profit and build a damn school. And this is the story of how a great king rules. There's many that claim to know the local demographic, but don't have the nerve to tell you the truth. It's tragic, but I do, so sit back and let me spit this shit to you. You feel better when I spit this shit to you, despite the system trying to clamp down on the people. People will learn how to stand up to evil. Not evil that's across the globe, that's too far, but evil that lies in their own backyard. And fighting, it's not an option, they can't win. The government, it's not supposed to represent sin, but then again they do, and that's a problem. So let's go down and figure out how to solve them. It's not fun being a rapper that can't speak, but we do, yes, and plus we make fat beats. Yo, we smoke weed, break up trees. Listen, bringing fat beats, that is our mission. You wanted to see us, homeboy, shut up and listen. Thelonious and Big Bennett, brother, check the vision. Mentalities of different realities. Enter the Star Trek room when you hear the boom. I be the Walkman with the super bass. Automatic stop, yes, stereo cassette player. With the delayer, freaky lyrical sprayer. Extraterrestrial rhyme sayer. I be the poetical VIC/master of the ceremony. Tenderoni, won't you come step with me? I'm on a historical journey. kinda like Sigourney. Implore me to represent the attorney that represents my niggas. Go figure, it's the card. They call me Uncle Bigger. Niggas love your blunts, down your liquors. I read the parallel to the fiction. You're fixated on this brother's nature. Relaxed behavior, I might save your change. Flip it, rearrange. The whole concept, yo, is good for all your brain. Insane, psychotic, neurotic, black onyx, and hooked on phonics, just atomic. Bees like a bonnet, cut with the Asiatic, they all up on it. Rhyme static with the erratic type of skill. You wonder, is this nigga Vic really for real? It's still, but only necessary in the berry. I'm milk like dairy, they quite contrary. That's scary, but I'm a dog in the prairie. I scurried to grab my bones and just bury. Lyrical flurry, go get your secretary with impeccable dictions. My style might vary, so get a hold of your own shit real fast. Fucking with us, we take it right out your ass. Prairie dogs chill while the other dogs howl. Too many dogs get sent to the pound. Back on the hill, me and my peeps just lounge. Prairie dogs, we keep it on the down. Splatter, don't like gun splatter. We try to climb the ladder, wicked men get better. They make it like splatter, but it really don't matter. Cause you know we coming back to our sons and our daughters. So follow him, the one who protects ya. And the mother, she will never neglect ya. Through divine nature, the people respect ya. And in this way I deliver my lecture. Babies looking for food, starvation, the recipe, people subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day and every clue. Don't let it go, it's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep. Leaving 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and I feel we on the brink. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers. Cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in the way to settle. real. If you stop the machines for a minute, you might hear, but they won't, cause the TVs whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't tear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't steer. And like an ab, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison.
They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war.
Can you feel it? Nothing can save ya, cause this is the season of funky behavior. I came to relax your mind, you can recline. On what? On this here rhyme. I like the style, I'm staying for a while. It helps me show cats that I'm versatile. I'll touch your dial, turn your frown to a smile. I'll make you feel like you're having a child. So relax and open up, child. I'm about to make you walk what? Pimp style or pimped out style. You don't understand the logic. See, if you don't have it all, I'll take a deposit. I got shit for you, it's alright indeed. It's like going to the garden and planting the seed. It might tickle for a second, but it won't bleed.
So just relax, just hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and just hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat.
Your entertainment at the same time, edutainment. In other words, you could call it bent. What I'm saying is that I'm here at your service. It's hard work, but then again, I deserve this. I'm helping people enjoy their spare time. I'm like an instructor when I'm doing my rhyme. Relax and just hear the dope track. It's really not all that, it's not like a gag. We like that when everything is relaxed and chill. You don't have to get fucked up or take pills, cause I like being myself, it feels good. Yo, it makes my meals taste good. 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 So just relax.
It's here a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax.
My mind state, that balloon, it won't inflate. Just take the buzz, this much wiser kid, fuck the shade. And take it to a